Danny, wow, you were fast. Hi. Hey guys. All right, sorry about that. I don't really know how to fix that because I really did do my due diligence on my end to make sure I didn't like miss a new update or something. So I don't know why it keeps happening. But if it just keeps happening, we'll just keep doing this. We'll just keep creating second lives in the moment. But hi, welcome. Hope you guys are doing great. This is going to be the weekly intuitive astrology reading for September 16th to the 22nd. And yes, this also includes the full moon eclipse that we've all been waiting for, talking about, looking at, watching videos on, researching, all that stuff. So I will talk a little bit about it. I won't go into like a lot of detail just because the full moon eclipse alongside the weekly like astrology aspects, excuse me. But I've been like this all day. They're kind of one and the same. So a lot of the energy we're going to experience this week really is circulating around the full moon anyway. But if you do want to check out the deep dive, that is available on Patreon and it also is available on Vimeo now, and the links are below for that. Okay. All right. So I do think I want to wait a couple minutes for people to climb in here. If you're watching this after the fact, sorry, glitch happened. We deal. Um, yeah, I was feeling it today. It felt like the day. So I just ran with it. Um, been feeling dark on makeup lately too. It could be the full moon eclipse. It could be that mixed with my Venus return that is actually happening this week, which is kind of interesting. It could be a lot of things, but like I said, I was feeling it. I was in a vibe, so I ran with it. Hey from Virginia. Hey Virginia. Let's see, back in the live. I've been so irritable today. I've been kind of like that too. Like I was feeling really good for the most part, but something the last couple hours got me a little like prickly, to say the least. Like I said, I'm gonna get into everything, but also if you feel like you're having, I don't want to say, how do I want to say, amplified emotions, that's not a shocker considering it's literally the week of the eclipse and in a very emotional sign and it's a full moon. But there's also a couple other things that will be exacerbating, I feel like I can't talk lately, certain behavior. It's interesting. Like I said, we're gonna get into it. Okay. So I think we've waited a bit. Don't forget to like the video, by the way, if you are in here. I appreciate it, and future watchers do appreciate it as well. Wait, some of the last few hours? Oh, I got heated and had to walk away from getting too intense. Yeah, that's exactly what I was feeling too. Like I didn't engage with anybody. I've been like getting ready for the live, but and just doing life, but I could feel it. Like I'm just a little agitated, like for no reason whatsoever. And I won't lie, I'm like, maybe it's PMS. I don't know, but I am feeling a little prickly too. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the overview. If you are new, welcome. We welcome you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. We also have websites, socials, Patreon. We got a lot of stuff. Just it's all below, so just check it out. But the way this is going to work, I'm going to go over the overview and just give you my 2 cents on just what I think is going down this week. We're going to get into the astrology and we're going to do some channel messages and cards. And there should be timestamps for all of that if you're watching this after the fact. Already my third eye is like tinkle. It's like, I feel like it's being tickled. That was a hard word to say. Oh, that's such an interesting little feeling. I don't know. I kind of don't like it. But par for the course with what we got going on. So let's talk about the eclipse really quickly, just because how could we not? Like I said, I'm not going to get into major detail about this because we did that over on Patreon and it was a lot of information. It was a lot because there's a lot of interlacing complex aspects and then there's a lot of fixed star activity, not to mention just like big collective things that have been happening that I talked about already on the last Island Turtle Talk episode. So that's also available too already on YouTube if you want to go and look at that. But I will give you just a few notes that I have about the full moon eclipse. So obviously with it being in Pisces, there's a lot of psychic energy and a lot of information that is just seeping into everyone's awareness, mostly just like I said, psychically or through dreams. I'd really pay attention to dreams at this time. Don't be surprised if your sleep is all kinds of whack. Okay, sleep is going to be weird and strange and difficult. I think for a lot of people, you could be exhausted, you could be sleeping a lot, or you could even be experiencing the opposite of that, like unable to sleep. And then when you do, dreamland, dream time is really crazy. but it's just a lot of information that's coming through. And a lot of it too is going to help you discern, right? Illusions and projections and all of that from truth. Some people may feel very overwhelmed and bombarded to the point where they feel like they can't discern. It's really important to discern right now, okay? Mastering your sword, wielding your sword. That's the thing I've been talking about for weeks, and it's really going to be useful with this full moon. Okay. Definitely breakthroughs are going to come along with that. We have a lot of Uranus activity as well, which again is also present this week. A couple other themes that I thought were kind of interesting: justice from wrongdoings, or like completions or things being put in order from wrongdoings. And I wanted to put like freedom as an association with that. But the way wrongs are being righted might not be the way you expect. And it feels very internal. It feels very like spiritual, emotional. It could be happening in the physical, like where literally you get some like physical, tangible conclusion or reward for something, or a conversation that's been needing to happen. But I feel like a lot of it's happening by way of knowledge, like literally learned information is bringing you a sense of order or justice or clarity, is how that was coming through, which I thought was kind of cool. Control. That's also be prominent this week. Themes of control and power, I want to say, are going to be taking a back seat, okay, in favor of flow and receptivity. This full moon, there's going to be a lot that comes up and we are presented with where you can say yes to certain opportunities or doors or pathways, and if it feels right, obviously go for it, right? But it's not exactly a full moon to like put on your work boots and like go initiate things and get really busy and like push. It's not a full moon for that. But as saying yes is a form of being like active, right? But it's also in the form of receptivity. So I hope that makes sense with how I said it. Like I said, my words have been a little weird today, and I think because there is a lot of psychic energy. So even as I'm talking to you right now, I feel very like up there somewhere. Like it's really difficult for me to use words in this moment, so be patient with me. Um, yeah, new approaches will definitely be needed for those who are used to taking control or taking initiative, especially my cardinal signs. Like cardinal signs, you're gonna really feel this week, and mutable signs too, but cardinal signs for sure. I actually would say Pisces, Virgo, and Aries, Libra are the signs that will be affected mostly energetically, intensely by everything that's going down this week and the full moon itself. But that's just my opinion. Um, what other things I want to mention about the full moon? I feel like there's so much. And like I said, everything that I'm mentioning about the full moon also coincides with the energy of the week. I know there's something else I wanted to mention. Oh, come back. Oh, oh, my crown is like going crazy. Fear. Oh, thank you. Fear is probably the biggest thing here, and definitely with the week as well. What sign is the full moon? Pisces. So, fear. Here's something that's fascinating about fear. Understanding fear, seeing fear for what it is, high likelihood you can experience that clarity and insight. But if you do not navigate your fear in the ways that I've like actually been mentioning in the last couple of weeks, right? Where you unmask the fear, you hunt down your fear so you can actually understand what's really behind all of that. And then you move into a place of peace with that, or even like fearlessness about that, right? But for those who don't do that, or even like on the other end, like resist that or like outright deny their fear, fear is going to have its day. Okay. Just being honest. And just especially the aspects that I was seeing that come up later in the week, I was like, oh my God. Fear can manifest as manipulation, jealousy, possessiveness, like people acting out basically, but not in ways that you would expect. Like, I think when we think of people being afraid, it's like they're kind of aggressive or they're pushy or right, or just doing things that are not necessarily like where people are thinking straight. Oh my God, my whole body's reacting to this energy right now. It's more along the lines of out of feeling insecure and fearful, trying to feel powerful and trying to feel in control. And there is also a lot of energy this week that leans towards revealing deceit and revealing manipulation. And so people who are not dealing very well with their fear, their egos, their their need to control, have power to win. A lot of fixed star activities also emphasizing that, more so than the planets, I would say. But yeah, all of that, it's going to be very obvious, okay? It's going to be obvious and it's not going to be pretty, but there are plenty of people who are going to be dealing with it well and who already have been, because I feel like we've had a taste of this all the way through August. And for some people earlier, some people you're still in it, and that's like just is what it is. Um, yeah. Anything else need to be said about that? The crowd energy is like so distracting. Yeah, so for those who've already been dealing with that, I'm not worried about you. Like, if you're not letting your fear dictate you or like have control over you, this is an amazing week, okay? It's the eclipse, and it's a welcoming eclipse because this eclipse can help like bring that breath of fresh air, like blow the crap away. It's like this kind of full moon eclipse, and I think we're all ready for that, especially with how crunchy this summer has been and how like restricted this winter, this almost called it winter because it's very wintry, this summer has been. So welcome the changes, allow the old to fall away, and just be open to it and see what happens. And also allow yourself to practice your discernment and mastering your sword, because that will help a lot. Okay, I'm telling you, it's gonna help a lot. Between all of like the psychic information and like flooding in of information on top of the fear really manifesting in like these really not such great behaviors, if you have a handle on yourself and your mind and your truth, it's a golden week. Okay, so that's what I gotta say with the overview. And I do feel like that really encompassed the other stuff I had written down for the week. Oh, I will say there's an interesting theme of the neglected that's also prominent this week and with the full moon. So with eclipse cycles, you got to look at it a little differently than a normal moon cycle, because the intensity of it is a little bit more widespread than a normal moon cycle. So like a normal full moon, you would really feel it like in the time of the full moon, but still kind of like playing out for a couple weeks. With an eclipse, it's more like a month. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. I'm like, my back is freaking out. So just keep that in mind, okay? But coming back to the neglected, there are a few things that emphasize this, fixed star activity included, along with celestial bodies. But anything that you've been neglecting, whether it's your own stuff, like your fear, your emotional stuff, maybe your to-do list, maybe relationships, that's coming home to roost this week, okay? And it doesn't have to be bad. It could mean, oh, you know what? I need to stop neglecting that. Let me go take care of that. Or it could literally be like, you've neglected this so severely. Here's the consequences for neglecting this, right? And being neglected, exactly. And you could even be someone who has been neglected in a certain situation, and that can no longer go ignored. Like, this is a week where nothing can hide. No secrets, like fears, true feelings, like none of that is being swept under the rug anymore. None of that is being hidden away. Everything is really coming to light this week. So just enjoy it for what it is and where it can take you, especially for those who've been doing a lot of just accountability work and a lot of just self-improvement and trying to be on your P's and Q's with your own life and your own goals. Like, if you've been putting in the hard work, ooh, it just brought me back to actual winter. Oh, interesting. I'm gonna circle back to that. If you've been putting in a lot of hard work, I think this is gonna be a really great week. And if you've been like really stuck in your ways and just stuck in your ways and still resisting, maybe you're gonna see a lot of things, feel a lot of things that are fear driven, ego driven, whether they're real or not, but you might be perceiving a really bad time, whether it's actually bad or not. The power of fear is like kind of crazy, right? Yeah. So coming back to winter, something about winter, January, February, I know they're including March in this, maybe even like including spring equinox of this year. I do believe that's coinciding when Jupiter was sextile Saturn. So for those who don't remember, I'll remind you. When Jupiter was sextile Saturn early in the year, it was a time to plant seeds for very long-term goals. Okay, I mean long-term, like I can't even give an example. Long-term goals, like planting seeds for things that you want to see success in, but like things that take a lot of effort or take a lot of time, like rewards that are not going to be instantaneous. And I do feel like winter and like early spring, like everybody was feeling a lot more like on top of the world a little bit, like just a lot more confident, a lot more passionate, a lot more like on fire, right? And that Jupiter sextile Saturn, whatever you were doing at that time, whatever seeds you were planting, whatever notions you had about things you could experiment with or try or enjoy, and you feel like, okay, I'm not seeing the rewards from this yet, something about that's coming back up, which I guess makes sense. Thank you. Thank you. That makes sense. It does make sense. Also because of the eclipses. Because the last eclipses were around that time, back around the spring equinox was also when we were experiencing that. So the fact that we are 6 months later now entering this new eclipse cycle, there is something coming full circle with that, with things that you were planning or gearing up for or wanting to try, wanting to invest in, new ideas that you had at that time between January, March. I'll even include April in that. They're coming back, and they're reminding me of so many things. They're coming back, and now I'm recalling that October, November was like a resurgence of fire, a resurgence of that high from the Aries energy from that time. So it's coming back in. Okay, that just wanted to be said. There's going to be a lot of channelings today, just a heads up. Especially like being right in this eclipse energy with this full moon. I'm just like, ooh, I'm just buzzing. I be buzzing. Okay, now let's get into the actual astrology of the week. Does that sound good? Okay, sounds good to me. So like I mentioned, we do have the full moon Pisces eclipse on the 17th, tomorrow, Tuesday. I guess it would be, well, would it be different? It might be a different day if you're like in another part of the world, because I do believe it's late at night, like 10:30 at night, East Coast, thank you. East Coast time, so it could be a different day, so just adjust that for your time zone. But also this week, the sun is moving into Libra and Venus is moving into Scorpio by the end of the week. Exciting. Virgos, I hope you've had an amazing birthday season. We are now gearing up for a Libra birthday season. Just wanted a little birthday shout out. But let's talk about the more detailed aspects of what's happening. So there's three like major clusters I want to talk about. The first being this encouragement of taking new approaches to challenges and delays and changes. Now, everything I'm about to say, I will say, oh my God, it's one of those days. Everything I'm about to say is softened, okay? Is a little softened by some of the Jupiter-Venus energy that we have. So when it comes to like challenges and delays, I do think that we are in a receptive space for them. But again, if you are very closed right now and you're like really holding on to how things have been, how you have handled things, your go-tos of dealing with things, then I think you might have a little harder of a time. But for those who are ready and who are just like, bring on the new, I think that this next section is not going to hit you so hard. This is definitely circulating around all the cardinal signs. For those who don't know the cardinal signs, Cancer, Capricorn, Aries, and Libra. Leo wanted to come out when I was trying to say Libra, which is why I paused. I was like, why is Leo here? I'm trying to say Libra. We don't actually have anything in Leo right now in Tropic. So that's kind of interesting. Something might be going on with my Leos. Right now, Mars is in Cancer. And for those who didn't catch the part 1 of the Mars, Cancer, Leo series that I'm doing right now for the astrology talks, you can go ahead and look at that. But I'm having a feeling it's related to Mars. Mars is in Cancer and will move into Leo, but it will retrograde through Leo and Cancer between 2024 and 2025. And I'm just feeling like I'm feeling such strong Leo. I can't get away from it. Interesting. Anyway, so let's talk about this. So there's a pseudo grand cardinal cross this week. And I say pseudo because most astrologers would say it's not a legitimate one. Okay. Just want to be very clear about that. But energy's there. That's how I look at astrology. But this is just my viewpoint. So for those who are not familiar with what that means, Mars in Cancer is opposing Ceres in Capricorn. So you have that like opposition going on between Cancer and Capricorn, right? And we have the North Node in Aries, which is opposing Lilith and Libra. So you have that polarity going on. So when you have like all of a modality right? Activated in that way, Capricorn, Cancer, Leo, Aries, they're all the cardinal signs, then they're all square each other as well. It's like Mars is square the North Node, Mars is square Lilith, North Node is square Ceres, Ceres is square Lilith. You see what I'm saying? So it creates this challenging energy where changes are happening, but it's almost like to teach you a different way of that cardinal energy. Cardinal energy is very initiating. Anyone who has strong cardinal like sign placements, you know what I mean. You guys literally initiate the seasons in the zodiac. You guys like to start things. You guys like to be active. You guys like to be on top of your stuff, right? As certain changes happen and delays happen or challenges happen, it may come about in a way where you feel like you're just in your groove and suddenly you hit a wall. Or suddenly something just comes to a halt. Like that's something I was feeling a little bit. I actually did Cancer and Aries earlier today, and I felt that with was it Cancer? I felt that with one of them. But anyway, so you might feel like you're doing your thing and suddenly like things come to a screeching halt, and your instinct with cardinal energy anyway might be to take control of the situation, might be to no, we gotta, this ain't happening, we gotta do something about this. The challenge is allow yourself to adapt and flow and be receptive. What is happening might need to happen, and maybe just like allow yourself to be open to that notion. Okay. But it is more about the surrender and the adaptability and the flow, not pushing, not forcing, not controlling. Okay. Some of you may also struggle with an impulsivity, which is kind of interesting. I didn't pick up on that before. That feels restless to me. That actually feels more anxious. If any of you tend to be just anxious in general, especially if things are happening out of your control, yeah, you might like do something very impulsive, like to make yourself feel better or to gain control of the situation, but something about that doesn't feel good. So just be aware of that. And Lilith is part of this too, like everything that I'm speaking about right here. Another aspect of this is the self versus others. How much of your own motivations and intentions are driven by other people or by self-interest? There's nothing wrong with either, but just make sure that you're in a healthy place with that within yourself, and you're just staying aware, right? Because some of you, it's going to be one extreme, the others might be the other extreme, where maybe you are very focused on other people. Maybe you like to be of service. There's a lot of that going on because of Virgo, right? But maybe you do need to be more aware of yourself and really what's good for you and look out for yourself. Or if you're more in the self-interest boat, maybe you need to be more considerate of others. So you see what I'm saying there? So definitely the polarity of self versus others is big with this, okay? This will be coming up between 0. Oh, why did I write 0? No, it's 5 to 10. Interesting. Weird. 5 to 10 degrees with the cardinal signs. So again, Aries, Libra, Capricorn, Cancer. So I would just like note that with your houses. I wouldn't worry about it too much. There's other big things going on this week. But just don't be surprised if in those houses you hit some sort of wall at some point with something that you have been wanting, investing in, dedicating yourself to, and you're like, whoa, what the hell is this? Why is this happening? This is why. But again, I wouldn't worry about it compared to the other stuff. All right. Now, this next section. Oh, actually, this is kind of exciting. This is exciting. This is all the generational planets. I wrote out with the old and unhealthy. Out with the old and unhealthy. So a lot of you already know Neptune and Uranus and Pluto have been working with each other for a very long time now. We've all been feeling that. That is not new. But because they're all so close to each other now, when another celestial body comes into play to work with one, they're working with all of them. So I just saw like 3, like a board of directors or something. That was weird. Anyway, so Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto are all working with the sun this week, which also means because of the full moon, they're also working with the moon. So for those who don't follow aspects, if I remember just off the top of my head, I do believe the full moon in Pisces for the eclipse is sextile Uranus, conjunct Neptune, so Neptune and the moon are right on top of each other, and sextile Pluto. And since it's a full moon, the sun is actually trine Uranus and Pluto and opposite Neptune. So just giving you the astrology lowdown. But needless to say, when you have three generational planets all working together, and then they're also all working with a ecliptic moon cycle, the term big change doesn't cover it at all. Especially just with how active Uranus is here. Uranus keeps capturing my attention, specifically more so than Pluto and Neptune, because Pluto I feel like is really helping for intuition, psychic awareness, and also deepening your own analytical skills and insights into yourself and other situations. Neptune is also doing that because Neptune in Pisces is also just very spiritually oriented, also oriented with like psychic abilities and intuition and all of that, really intensifying emotions. Thank you. Neptune and Pluto are also really intensifying emotions with the full moon. They're also doing other stuff this week, but Uranus is coming in to say, change? Yes, please. Yes, please. I think Uranus is making it a little easier for us and almost helping us to be more eager for the change than we normally would, which I think is great. It's also very activating. So as far as like my mystics go, yeah, you might be experiencing a lot of downloads, a lot of upper chakra energy, just a lot of psychic information. Don't be surprised if your emotions are all over the place. Don't be surprised if your thoughts are all over the place. That's where centering and discernment come into play. All right. Now, they're all also working with the White Rabbit asteroid. For those who are not familiar, that is okay. The White Rabbit, like the role of that in all of this, White Rabbit's in Virgo. I feel like it's actually just creating even more opportunity for change and to be curious about it and to go along with that. Now, you just got to understand that when the right White Rabbit is at play and gets activated, it's going to open doors and paths that normally would not be there. And they may feel like side quests, and they may come with change and opportunities that you didn't know you were signing up for. It's always a really great learning experience when that is at play. Okay. Now, the way the sun is playing into this. Yeah. The way the sun is playing into this with Uranus and Pluto is really nice. So as far as embracing the changes, it's great. When it comes to work and money, this is also well aspected, especially with the Pluto component, because when Pluto works with the sun, it's a really empowering sort of a feeling. There also tends to be an easier time influencing other people and like captivating people and also doing business negotiations and things like that, especially with Pluto being in Capricorn and the sun being in Virgo. So all of that is great. Relationships. Relationships are kind of strange here. One, because of the Pluto component, but also because the sun is opposing Neptune. When the sun opposes Neptune, deceit is afoot, okay? Deceit is just likely, as are illusions and manipulations, and also because of the way Venus is aspecting Pluto, which we're going to get to later, is going to amplify that. And with the full moon in Pisces conjunct Neptune, that is also going to just exacerbate that. But if you are on your P's and Q's and you're discerning illusions from truth and you're keeping your fear in check and you're having a healthy relationship with your fear, that should not be a problem. If anything, you're just going to see the bullshit for what it is, if you got any bullshit around you, right? And if you've had bullshit around you but you weren't sure, you may get confirmation of that bullshit, okay? But with relationships, just know that if you have healthy relationships right now, they're just going to go deeper. It's just they may go through a period of evolution that's going to be really nice and just deepen your connection. But if you have unhealthy relationships, I won't lie, shit might hit the fan. There may be a breakdown. It just might happen, okay? There's also a lot of opportunity to meet people at this time. That's not bad, that's not good, it just is. If you're discerning, you'll know the healthy versus the unhealthy opportunities. But remember, trickstery, deceitful, manipulative energy is happening. And if people are acting out of fear, they're going to be doing that stuff way more, okay? The Uranus trine the sun just brings a lot more confidence with making changes and dealing with changes. May also bring some breakthroughs and some insights and really open your mind to what's possible as well. And on top of the full moon energy, that's just going to be gold, right? So shake off the old, embrace the changes that happen. Again, receive receptivity. It's not a forceful thing. here with this week and this full moon. It is about receiving, okay? Open yourself up to your intuition and let that guide you and stay discerning, and you should be fine, especially keeping the fear in check. All of this will be playing out with the earth signs. My earth signs, my earthy kins. If you have any late degree placements of Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, more Virgo than Taurus or Capricorn. And when I say late degrees, I mean 25 to 29 degrees. What if the old was really good? So, okay, I'm glad you mentioned that because that was a big theme in the Cancer reading I did today. There's nothing wrong with enjoying the old. There's nothing wrong with enjoying what you got going on. And that's also where free will comes in. If you don't want to embrace change, you don't have to. But sometimes change is good. Sometimes there could even be better, and you just don't know it, right? I'm not saying blow your shit up if you don't want to, but if change is happening, especially if it's out of your control, you might as well embrace it because it could be bringing in some amazing things. Another point I want to make about the role of the White Rabbit asteroid, there's a fixed star that's aspecting it that equates to like literally the Holy Grail. So I feel like that's also emphasizing a lot of good that can come out of these changes right now. But you just don't know it yet, right? Free will, like I said. But my Virgos, specifically my Virgos, but then Taurus and Cappies, 25 to 29 degrees, that's where a lot of this is going to be hitting, okay? So check your placements, check your houses. Pisces is there too, but I would really focus on Virgo if you just want to look at one sign. I would really focus on Virgo here. All right. Oh, this granddaddy. This next section is a lot. This I had to sit with and digest because my head's hurting. So much is going on here. There's a lot of Venus, a lot of Mercury activity here, Jupiter's in the mix, Chiron's in the mix, Saturn's in the mix, Pluto's in the mix. Like it's a lot. So I'm not gonna beat the aspect like beat you guys over the head with the aspects here is what I was trying to say. So I'm just going to give you my 2 cents on this. All right. So Jupiter is sextile Chiron all week. Saturn's active with Orcus and Vesta. Mercury is active with Saturn and Vesta and Orcus and Jupiter. Venus is really important this week. Venus is trine Jupiter and square Pluto and opposing Chiron. I guess I was going to say I wasn't going to rattle off the aspects, but I did. Now, to quickly paraphrase this, it's going to be important to balance responsibility, material matters with relationships and emotional, spiritual matters. Some of you may feel like it's easier to actually deal with material matters, like to get into task mode, especially if you already have like a lot of earth in your chart. You may just like want to naturally do that as a coping mechanism around this time. If you're starting to feel uneasy, or if you are trying to escape some situations or some thoughts or some feelings, it's not going to be terrible to do that. But again, this is also a week where neglected things can no longer be neglected. Things that you've hit a snooze on, things you have not been wanting to acknowledge or look at, even relationships, right? They're knocking on the door to be acknowledged and to be dealt with. So just keep that in mind, okay? Research, tasks, busy work can benefit and distract from sadness, negative thinking, and even from fear. Some of you may even help you with your fear. Like if you guys have fear about dealing with material things, research is highly encouraged here, okay? And busy work is highly encouraged here. But Mercury is opposing Saturn. And this is more at the beginning of the week, so I want to emphasize that as well. When Mercury is opposing Saturn, it brings out like the isolation and loneliness that Saturn can bring sometimes. And so you could be feeling sad, you could be feeling lonely, you could be feeling kind of pessimistic and just kind of bummed out, like generally speaking. But Mercury is in Virgo, and Mercury is also active with Vesta and with Orcus. And so you might find a nice reprieve in just focusing on your own personal goals and focusing on the things that make you really happy. You know, the things that make you want to get up and out of bed in the morning, but in a way where it's more practical, tactile. I got a handle on this. Control. If that makes you feel better, that makes you feel better. But don't ignore your feelings. Don't ignore your fears. Don't ignore your insecurities, right? Because they're there for a reason. And again, things are not going ignored at this time. All right. Neglected matters may come home to roost or require extra attention at this time. That also is part of Mercury opposing Saturn and also some fixed star activity that we have at play, both being heavily emphasized here, especially in terms of relationships, like more so for those who have sacrificed like social anything, or relationships for the sake of yourself, independence, or even for the sake of your material world. That really stands more to apply here. But there's some fixed star activity that implies a neglected individual within a partnership. So if that's a theme in your life or in your present, that may be coming up at this time as well. So just handle your neglected shit as best as you can, okay? Relationships will intensify. Fears show themselves via manipulation, jealousy, deceit, all the things I mentioned before, and ego-driven behavior and mindset. That's mostly circulating around Venus, okay? And Venus does an interesting transition this week. So from the beginning of the week to the end of the week, Venus moves from this kind of feel-good space. So we've all been experiencing because Venus has been trying Jupiter. So it's had this like just general lightness to it, where things feel a little easier. We can breathe a little easier. Maybe you're feeling a little charismatic. Maybe you're just feeling extra lucky. Maybe some lucky things have happened to you. Maybe you've had some decent social experiences. Also, with Venus opposing Chiron while Jupiter is sextile Chiron, anything happening relationally in the beginning of the week has more of a likelihood of showing you things about yourself, about your fears, and about your insecurities in a way that's not difficult, just in a way of, oh, that's what that is. Oh, that's what that is. Oh, okay. So that is nice. Of course, overcoming your personal challenges along with that is available to you if you so choose. But then Venus starts to move into a square with Pluto. Venus square Pluto is going to be strongest on Sunday, September 22nd. It's kind of tough when that happens, especially now that Venus is going to move into Scorpio. That like Plutonian side of Scorpio through Venus will definitely come out. And I love Scorpio energy, but some of the shadow Scorpio is also not very pretty. So when Venus goes into a square with Pluto in this position, control and power and domination and obsession and jealousy, all of that stuff comes out. All of that stuff comes out. And it's going to happen, I feel like, more so with intimate relationships. It could happen at work, just because Pluto is in Capricorn and Scorpio also deals in money matters as well, just as a sign. And it's also in Venus, moving from Libra. So if this happens in your financial life or your work life, I just wouldn't be shocked. But I do feel like it's going to be more about intimate relationships where there's a lot of, okay, got it, emotional investment, or you just give a shit, basically. You give a shit. You give a shit. I'm going to say it that way. Because I heard like high stakes, but I think that's more from an egoistic perspective. Like you got something to lose, like dignity or something. Yeah, that just feels very like ego-based to me. Now, if there's a lot of fear, a lot of that's going to come out in the ways I've already described. But if you have healthy relationships, this will just help to deepen your relationship, to help you evolve, help the relationship evolve. If it's unhealthy, I mean, I really feel like it's just like a total breakdown of unhealthy relationships that can happen with that. It's not going to happen for everybody, but it's highly likely if you're already in a situation that you know is not exactly great. Now, with Mercury, here's what's interesting too, because Mercury goes through a transition this week. So when Venus goes from this like feel-good space to this like jealousy, what the hell is up with that space? Mercury moves into a square with Jupiter. And I think it's going to be a weird combination in relationships because Mercury in a square with Jupiter, especially with the fact that Jupiter's in Gemini, communication is going to get weird. Like people may be very overconfident or arrogant about some of the things that they're saying or like trying to get their point across. And that combined with that Venus square Pluto, I just like, I don't know. That sounds a little hairy. But again, if you're in a healthy space with yourself and people in your life, this should be fine. This should be fine. Okay? Just watch the tongue by the end of the week. Watch the tongue. Don't get carried away. don't get careless about your words, like they might come back to bite you in the butt with Mercury square Jupiter. Mercury square Jupiter actually has a benefit though too. It also helps you to organize a little bit better, like to actually open your mind to different ways of doing things and like logistics, which also just seems to be a theme with this week as well. Just adaptability, right? Yeah. Actually, I went through that a lot faster than I expected to. For all of this, because there's so much going on, I would say just focus on where Venus and Mercury are. And Venus is going to be Libra 20 to 29 degrees. That's where insights into yourself with relationships are going to come up. Fear driven, crazy behavior might come out, right? People might show themselves, etc. That might be happening in your house with Libra 20 to 29 degrees. Mercury is going to be in Virgo 10 to 25 because Mercury moves very fast. So the house of Virgo is getting pretty blown up, not just by Mercury, but also by, where was it? All of the activity around the generational planets that I spoke about previously, right? Now that is more about that like busy work that I was getting, like get into planning, get into researching. Like that is definitely something you don't want to miss out on this week. I think you might be surprised at how much confidence you get from just learning about certain things that give you anxiety, or even just a confidence with putting certain plans together that maybe you've had a hard time doing recently. But just know that the neglected stuff, people, your phone fear, your own shit, your to-do list, whatever, that will probably come up in with Mercury in Virgo. So again, Virgo 10 to 25 degrees. So hard to speak. But yeah, so that's all the astrology for the week. Yes, yes. I know, it's interesting, right? A lot of layers. Let's see. Literally apartment hunting and researching neighborhoods. Oh, okay. Nice, nice. That's what I love about Rhoda. She welcomes all and understands the masculine aspect. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for saying that, Marcy. I appreciate that. Is there a conversation going on in the chat about that? The timing belt is doing anything. I will like it later. I don't see the like on my phone. Oh, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, you can just do it after the fact. I appreciate that. Oh, thank you for the lip color comment. Thank you. I'm not a big lip color person, but like the energy, man, like I said, I just felt called to it. But if I do go with lip colors, I think just because of my skin tone, I really don't like light colors. I just don't. And again, that could be the Scorpio in me. Um, I do prefer a darker color. I still have yet to find a color that like I can see in my mind's eye that I've just not been on the hunt for, but if I'm gonna pick a lip color, I'll like try to find it. It's like I just keep seeing like a brownish, purpley, somewhat muted, not quite this loud, like a nude that has a little flashy flash. But it's like yeah, I just keep seeing like a brownish, purplish kind of a color, but I can't find it to save my life. Let's see. Virgo, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. You just have to exit the chat to like and then open the chat again. Burgundy red would look nice on you. Thank you. I've tried red. It's okay. I don't know. Red just doesn't get me excited. Like purples, browns, yes. Purples and browns, yes. But I know it's like a lot of people, they find that to be like kind of a lot, but I don't know. That just feels right. Creating a new project for dramatic. Wait, for dramatic. Oh, wait, where did it go? I think I like mixed a couple like things. Oh, a project for YouTube channel while listening to you. Okay, nice. Julia's place. And the nails. Oh, you guys know it's the season. This is my play season. So I'm just enjoying it. I have so many Halloween themed press-on nails. Like it's kind of ridiculous how many I have. Like half the nails I have are Halloween themed. So I just told myself I'm just gonna try to use them all this entire season. So I started early September and I'm already on my second set. So let's see, maybe I can use them all. All right, let's get into the collective messaging here. I feel like this is gonna be download city today. Giving myself a minute. Like strapping myself in. You have Scorpio in the 5th house. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I do. Yeah, I do think that is why this is my play season. Definitely love the purples and browns too. Yeah, I don't know. They're just fun. They're just fun. And I don't know, something about red, like, I think I do have some kind of association with like red lipstick that makes me very resistant to it, and I don't know why. I've always been like that, even ever since I was a kid. Like, I don't know, red lipstick. I have some sort of association. It's deep in my subconscious. I'm sure it'll come out one day. One day it'll make sense to me. Okay. Just wanted it to take a minute. All right, getting into the collective. Channel messages for the collective. So this came up recently. They're bringing up wishing again. This came up last week. I guess that wishing energy is continuing into the full moon Pisces with belief. Thank you. With the power of belief. I guess that also does coincide with Pisces to an extent, right? Pisces can see all the possibilities, even the ones that are not necessarily viable. Like, they're showing me the 7 of Cups. Now they're showing me the 9 of Cups. Yeah, letting yourself believe and letting your imagination show you what's possible. Imagination is just another form of tuning in a way. It's a whole other video. That is how you bring things into reality. It's part of weaving the web. They're just emphasizing the importance of that. Yeah, they're emphasizing the importance of belief. Okay, makes sense. Oh man, so much about fear. Again, I feel like there are plenty of people who have worked through fear enough to where it's not going to be a problem. But again, if it comes up for you, just remember, like, fear is, oh, thank you. They just said fear is the dream killer. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. It's just such a harsh way to put it. Fear is the dream killer. Ugh. Fear is the dream killer. Fear is the wish killer. Like, the more you let your fear create scary things, create scary thoughts. Yeah, just more of a strangle, the more you're like suffocating out your dreams and your belief and your wishes and your hope and all of that. This is gonna be really interesting. I like people who are really in the fear boat. I'm wondering if there's a divergence happening. I'm wondering if there's a divergence happening. Future events already ruined. I like that one. Versus the how does it go? False evidence appearing real. I like that one. Future events already ruined. So true. So true. And remember, there's still a lot of like seeping through in the consciousness, like with the collective consciousness, right? And so if other people like are working out of fear and they're throwing that fear at you, it's just, yeah, just, you got to have that discernment that it's not yours and not let it be a dream killer, right? Oh, I forgot the timestamp. I just like got into it. I'm just like sitting here. All right, I guess we're starting it now. For those tuning in to the timestamp, I did a little channeling for I don't know how long, a little bit. Anyway, don't know why that's beeping. Yeah, let's go ahead and pull some cards here for the collective. I think I do want to do Big Bertha. Ooh. Okay, we're gonna do Egyptian gods. So I actually pulled this deck out for, I think it was for the full moon live yesterday, and I didn't use it. I had every intention to, and I just kind of kept it out here. And this feels really right. Even as I was getting ready for the live, Horus was coming up, Bastet was coming up, and Ma'at has been coming up a lot. I feel like I've said her name like in almost every live or reading that I've done recently. So if those deities in particular have been coming up for you, I'd pay attention to that. But yeah, Let's pull this one out. I don't think this one's linked below. It should, because I did a whole like rehaul of my decks and tried to make sure the list is up to date. So it should be down there. Hold on a second. But yeah, let's pull some cards. Bastet, yes. We love some Bastet energy. Any messages or insights for the collective this week? I feel like Bastet is also kind of perfect for a full moon Pisces eclipse, right? They're talking about timing. Hold on. I'm sussing out how to communicate this. Because what they're relaying to me, this is interesting. A lot of people jumped early is literally what they're saying. I'm like, don't know how to take that. A lot of people jumped early, pushed. A lot of people pushed before the right time. Before the right time. Saturn in Pisces has been teaching us patience, or reinstilling the lesson of patience, right? We've had so much restriction and pressure and density, especially through the course of summer and Jupiter being square Pisces, being square Saturn in Pisces. But that was kind of the point, right? It's like to teach adaptability, to teach how to trust your own timing, how to trust even collective timing to an extent, but really to trust your own timing and your own compass, and to be patient with yourself, because there are just certain things that need to happen in a certain way, in a certain order, when it's the right time. When it's the right time. When it's the right time. Something too about that pseudo cardinal cross that I was mentioning with the North Node in Aries, Mars in Cancer, Ceres in Capricorn, and Lilith in Libra. The North Node aspect, I think, also emphasizes that. Some of you may feel like you've already been progressing down a certain path and you may hit a wall. Again, that's just life, right? That's just life. This feeling of it needs to happen today, it needs to happen now. It's like those are very, how do I want to say? It's unnecessary pressure. It's unnecessary pressure. If something happens, right? Be adaptable, be open, stay open. It's interesting. Yeah. So like you might have had experiences with some people where it's like they were very focused on their goals, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's like pushing is what they're emphasizing here. There may be some of you that coming full circle from whatever was happening in spring/winter and coming full circle to this eclipse cycle, some of those people might realize they missed something, or they missed out because they were so focused on pushing. You see what I'm saying here? It's like when you're so focused on your end goal and you're so attached to the way you have to do something, or you're so attached to an outcome or circumstance or an expectation, you miss out on the magic. You miss out on what could be. And every moment is a chance to see what could be, but you have to be willing to see it. You have to be open enough to receive it, is how they're saying that. There's a lot of weird noises in my kitchen right now. I actually think that there's something going on with the vent in my kitchen. Yeah, I think there's something weird going on with that. Like it's been really, really windy, like since we're now like transitioning into fall. And I've just noticed that like as it gets windy, I hear like weird shit in my vent. So I just think there's something happening there. And I'm just like, it sounds like it's raining. And I'm like, don't know how it sounds like it's raining in my kitchen. Anyway, okay. Oh my God. Horus. Well, we were feeling Horus, weren't we? Horus coming out here. Stability and equilibrium. This feels really nice. Nines may be coming up a lot for you. The Eye of Ra might be coming up for you a lot, or Eye of Horus, however you look at that. Yeah, I feel like the whole pantheon's here. This is interesting. With Horus coming out, I actually feel almost like a protected stance with Horus, is what I'm feeling, like a holding, right? I'm just feeling like something's being held in position. Something's being held in position. They said that's all that needs to be said. So just as a little tangent, I'm learning to be even more trusting of some of the ways things move through me. Like, even just saying that, I wanted to try to elaborate, and they're like, you don't need to elaborate so much, because sometimes whatever needs to be said, it's hitting you in a certain way it needs to. So just sharing. Anyway, so that's it. Okay. Can I get one more, please? No, two more. Let's get two more. Ooh, Sobek. Union and power. The eyes are really standing out here. The Horus energy, I just feel like there's a sense of, like, when we are held, sometimes when we feel like we're being restricted, or sometimes delays happen, or we hit a wall, it really is sometimes in our highest good. And that's what I'm getting here. Like, instead of pushing and pushing and pushing, maybe just realize this might be happening because it really is just the best thing. Like, almost holding you in position, right? If you get delayed, and just trusting that process. Trusting that. Because maybe there is something to just enjoy with how you're doing things, or where you're at in a certain situation, right? Even if it's temporary, even if you're like, but I was so ready to be here, or I was so ready to do that. I was so ready to just not be doing A, B, C, D, E, whatever, or not be dealing with A, B, C, D, E. And you won't, but maybe a little more time is needed for whatever reason, even if you don't know what that is yet, right? So if any of you have been feeling that, especially the last couple months, it has been for a reason. And it will make sense later. It'll make sense later. It feels like Horus is holding Sobek. That's how this is feeling to me. Like, looking out for Sobek, holding Sobek, hanging there with the metaphor here, which brings into play how we are probably embodying what Sobek is representing here. Okay? Yeah, because it's been preparation. It's been necessary preparation. It's been necessary preparation. So they're like, that's all that needs to be said. Okay. Can I get one more? No, that's too many. Can I get one, please? Just one. Woo! Whoa! Whole deck exploded. Let's see. Khonshu. Okay, hold on. Let me grab one. Again, deck all flying out of my hands here. Oh my god. There's so much energy, like the deck will not stop moving out of my hands. Okay. Just gonna put that down. Khonshu with Hermitage. This definitely feels like Adjourn, and definitely feeling the death, rebirth. Looking like Osiris, right? Pretty sure Khonshu is the actual Egyptian name for Osiris. I could be wrong about that. By all means, correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure Khonshu is his Egyptian terminology for Osiris. Movement is happening. Movement is happening, but there's been this needed preparation before movement could happen, before transitions could take place, before people got into a different position. A lot about like holding one in place and then, okay, now you can go. Now you can go over there. Okay, now you can stop doing that. That's how it's feeling like a chessboard, and like holding certain pieces and like waiting for the right time until everything was in the right setup. That's how that's totally feeling. So interesting. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So if you've been feeling restricted, or you still feel restricted, it's been needed. Okay. It has been needed, because there's been something for you that you've been needing to get ready for, or it's like some sort of balance has also been trying to happen, just with like union and power being associated with Sobek here. But with Khonshu, with Osiris, for those who are unfamiliar, he's kind of technically like the zombie god. He's also the god of agriculture, and then later became associated with the underworld because of a long story with Set. But anyway, he does have agriculture behind him, but like also because of the nature of him and his mythology, there is that like resurrection, death, birth kind of vibe going on to him, right? But I keep feeling this is about movement. I keep feeling movement with this. Movement, journeys, activity, working, doing, but all with the new. All with the new. And this will happen. This will take place. If you're not experiencing this, this will come to take place, and most likely with the eclipses. But again, preparation is very necessary. We can't always be in movement. We can't always be on the go, right? That's actually just not how nature works, right? We do have to go through cycles of like rest and recovery and transitions and all of that. We have to move through those cycles. That's just literally how energy and nature works. And while there has been this preparation happening, I'm hearing improvement. Okay, improvement. Feels like getting foundations ready too. There has been there's actually been consistency, and I want to say this feeling of protection as well. It's a very interesting reading. I feel like I'm getting prepared for something new. Yes. I think I'm pretty sure I know what it is. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you already know or like have an intuitive feeling. I mean, that's also part of this too, right? It's like how attuned are you at discerning like between your intuition, between your illusions and your ego, and between the truth, right? We've been perfecting that. We're learning to do that. Yeah. I kind of want to pull some more cards here. Where are we going? Let's go with the Priestess of Light Oracle. Okay. I feel like my ancestors have been holding me back. Now it's about to be time to move forward, and they're like, wait, do you want to still, or do you want what we have for you here? That could totally be happening. Like, remember, they showed me the Seven of Cups. There's a lot of options available. There's a lot of options available depending on one, what you want to do, also what you've aligned yourself to at this point, and other. There is a third bucket there too. Yeah, a lot of options available for everybody. And as we move through the full moon eclipse, that's going to be made even more evident. This whole year, choice has been a huge theme. Been a lot of themes this year, but choice has been a big theme. Can I get a card for Horus? The plethora of choices and the lack of choice. Can I get a card for Horus, please? Yeah, I just feel like being watched over by spirit, to be honest, with Horus. And holding and holding and holding. Some of you might have been guided to save your money this year. I'm also feeling that. Ooh. We have Portal with 1. Infinite Mind, Awakening Consciousness. Yeah, I feel like Horus is here to just represent like how spirit does hold us and how spirit does guide us and is connected to us. We have our own relationship with self and our own relationship with spirit, literally with the portal card coming out here. I look at this card as literally just being connected to and having access to all of that, to your soul, to spirit, to being able to tune in, right? That's how I look at that. Some of you could feel like you have been going through an awakening. Some of you may feel like it's probably not your first one. It's kind of funny. But yeah, this feels like just being in the moment, even if you have been restricted, right? Even if you've been restricted, just connecting to the fact that, okay, this is just what I'm working with right now. This is just where I'm at right now, and trying to find peace in that. Yeah. All right, let's look at Sobek. Ooh, I like the way this one feels. This feels good. I like this. I'm getting a lot of solar sacral energy off of that. That feels very yummy. That feels very Oh, powerful, to be honest. It does. It does. It feels empowered. It feels empowered. The preparation has been like for that to start to feel empowered, confident, centered, aware. Probably a lot of cleaning house that's happened for a lot of people who are resonating with this. Tell me about Sobek. Because it's been preparation. Idyllic times, the garden paradise. Idyllic times, this card comes out when you are cultivating what your heaven on earth is. When you are trying to cultivate just what's going to sustain you, what's going to fulfill you, lift you up, make you happy. When you dare to dream instead of allowing fear to kill your dreams, right? When you dare to dream, that's how they're saying it. But it's, yeah, they're really honing in on the preparation. They won't stop saying the word preparation, preparation, preparation. This isn't just practical preparation. For some of you, that's part of it. I feel like it's been an internal preparation, working through your own restrictions that you've placed on yourself, your own beliefs that it's self-limiting beliefs, really, right, that have stopped you from daring to dream. They're saying it's really about that. Yeah, whatever's gotten in the way of you daring to dream, you've been working on that. You've been working through that. Again, this is not for everybody, but that's why you've like needed to be held to do it. Some of you may have been laid out. Even when I say laid out, like I mean like you got sick or something unraveled and you just couldn't do anything but just like sit on your hands, right? Sometimes spirit does do that. Lord knows I've experienced that. All right. Let's look at Khonshu. Oh, that's awesome. So remember what I said. This really feels to me like movement, traveling, journeying, like being very active and like doing a lot of stuff, and really what's coming after being held. And it's like we're going into the new. Wings of light, becoming something new. So yeah, you could look at this as a birthing, a transformation, all of that. But again, I am really feeling more it's about physical movement after feeling a little stuck or a little restricted in some way to do this preparation. It's being in it, right? It's being in what comes after. Yeah, I just feel a lot of like fire, a lot of physical activity with this, a lot. So not surprised that came out. Okay. I think that's good enough for the collective read. Hold on. It feels weird not to do groups. I really want to do groups today. Oh, I can do elements. Okay, they're saying to do elements. We haven't done that in a bit. Sounds good to me. All right. Now let's see, fire, earth, water, and air. I'm going to take a little sip of water and then we will get started. Try not to choke first. Okay. Who's first? I'm hearing air, but I'm seeing the word earth. Ooh. Oh boy. Okay. What's that about? Am I doing air? Am I doing earth? They said air is in earth. It's funny how they talk sometimes. All right, so we're doing air. Air, you are dealing with the earthly element. You could be really focused on your health. You could be really focused on work, finances, again, material security. They're showing me the beaver. We don't have it. We obviously haven't been doing the cards yet, but they're showing me the beaver. That's consistency. That's consistency. Are you in this now? Are you engaged in this beaver energy now? I don't feel like you are. I don't feel like you are. It's almost like you're getting yourself ready for the beaver energy. You're getting yourself ready to be diligent about something. Maybe you're putting together like a work plan, a business plan, a new routine, right? Like I feel like it's almost like planning out your strategy to for a goal is how that's feeling. Oh, thank you, Daydream. Oh my God, $20. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Um, yeah, yeah, it's like you're laying out the plan for a goal. Some of this is financial investing, but I don't think you're in it yet. You're just like contemplating. You're contemplating. Actually, before we do the animals, let's pull a Power of Elements Oracle card, okay? Oh, timestamp, thank you. That's what happens when I'm in it. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you. Okay. Am I late for reads? No, you're right on time. You're right on time. We're starting with, oh my God, and I put it in the Earth section. Yeah, Air, you're really in Earth right now. This is like so crazy. Or you're about to be. I feel like it's like the kid who hates to like be in cold water and you know the pool's really cold and you're like, I gotta get in the water. And you're like bracing yourself, like putting yourself in an element you don't want to be in, but you kind of have to, you know you have to for what it is that you're wanting. Did we timestamp? Yes, I did. Thank you guys. I did. So it's kind of funny. Yeah, let's get a card for Air. For just, whoa. Okay, it was very fast. Oh, and look, they're both Earth cards. It's just so funny. Accept diversity. Choose peace as your path. Okay. And face forward, you will find a way. Again, I feel like you know what you want. You're just strategizing. Honestly, I feel like that's what you're doing. You're strategizing. Again, I also feel like it's making you, it's like putting yourself in a position to do things or be engaged in a certain environment or certain people, whatever, that you actually really don't like. I think that's why accept diversity is here. Sometimes we have to do that, right? Sometimes we gotta bite the bullet and say, I don't want to wake up at 4 a.m. every day to work out, but I guess I will for the sake of my health. Or you know what I mean? It's like, it has that flavor to it. I will be open to this. I will try this, even if I don't want to. I want to eat my steak. I don't want to eat my broccoli. Like, it's very much like that. But I will. But I will, and I will figure out how to deal with it because it's going to get me to where I want to go. Or it's going to get me to my end goal, whatever your end goal is. I would be shocked if this wasn't financial, to be honest. I just keep feeling like money. I just keep feeling it. But let's go ahead and pull some animals for you guys. Surely 4 a.m. is never necessary. Depends. There was a time, actually, it's funny, I was thinking about that the other day. Okay, little story time. Not like it's an important story, but when you live in Los Angeles and you work in Los Angeles, sometimes you gotta get up early to go to the gym before work. I'm just gonna say, there was definitely a time where I was waking up at like 3 or 4 a.m. to go to the gym before work and deal with LA traffic to get to work on time. I don't know how I did that. I don't, but I did. Anyway, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Okay. Any messages or insights? Thank you. Mouse planning details. This is my Virgo card / Mercury card. Yeah, details and planning. Again, I just feel like you're strategizing right now. And then we have Peacock. Sometimes, not sometimes, most of the time, when Peacock comes out for me, it's more of a superficial energy. I don't think you have that going on here, but I do think you're probably trying to put on, I don't want to say, not put on, maybe just trying to talk yourself into, thank you. You're trying to talk down your anxiety. That's what it is. I was like, talk what? You're trying to talk down your anxiety. It's like playing it cool. You're not playing it cool for other people. It's really for yourself, is what I'm getting with the peacock. The peacock is also a symbol of like beauty and grace and all of that. I don't feel like that's why this is here. I feel like the peacock is you trying to just not let your anxiety get the best of you, and knowing you're going to be doing something or putting yourself through something that you know deep down is going to make you very uncomfortable, and you're just preparing yourself. Okay. Mm. Okay, this is good. I like this. We have deer and camel. It feels like hand holding a little bit. That's why I like this. Camel is a bit of a survival energy for me personally as a reader with this deck, and really hits home about resources. Again, a lot going on with the earthly plane here for you guys, but deer is a divine feminine card. She is compassion. She is gentility. And that was the feeling I got, like almost like holding your own hand through this. Or some of you, there could be someone who's trying to hold your hand through this, that you allow. Thank you, that you may allow to hold your hand through this. It feels very much like a mom holding like their child's hand in a time where their child is like not, is kind of anxious and kind of freaking out. That's what it feels like. But I feel like you're learning to do this for yourself. But again, some of you may have somebody who's helping you do this. Okay, you could even be someone who's helping another person through an anxious time. An anxious time with this strategy here. Yeah, I know I've said it already. I just can't get away from it. It's like when I can't stop feeling something, I just have to say it like over and over. It's just kind of how I am. Um, you're putting yourself through something that you really don't want to, but it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Let's pull out the Fae. I think you know too, like putting yourself through this is going to bring more beauty into your life. I am getting a little bit of that with the peacock. Um, is going to bring more beauty into your life, and you know that. You know that. Can I get a card for mouse, please, for air signs? Wow. Oh, I like it. Yes. The fairy guide card was 0. Sometimes I treat this as like a blank slate card, like a wild card, but specifically it's actually supposed to represent a guide, like a literal guide. And this is coming out with mouse, with the anxiety and the strategizing and the planning and all of that. Some of you, this is a bit of a clean slate. But again, I can feel you're just like, you're really, really anxious about it. You're really uneasy about it, but you know you kind of have to. It's like, yeah, it has a feeling of like no turning back. Like you got to jump in the pool. You got to jump in the ice cold pool. You'll be fine later. You know you will be, but you got it. You know you got to do it. You may even be getting this feeling or knowing. Thank you. They said knowing. You may be having this inner knowing, really supported by your team, supported by a guide of yours. My mystics know what I'm talking about. And some of you, it's actually this person who's encouraging you, if you have someone in your corner. I think most of you don't, but some of you do. Ooh, that's fear. You want a face for fear? That's a face for fear. Okay. I wasn't even going to look at the bottom of the deck, but I just had to. Interesting. Soul Shrinker is a very toxic, literally sucks the life out of people and situations. And what am I saying about fear this whole time? Like, fear is a dream killer. Negative words. Oh, I'm hearing jealousy. Interesting. Just that feels like a whole lot of grossness from fear. Okay, it could be at play here for you, including your anxiety. Like, if you allow your mind and your fear to get control of you, I think this will be harder than it needs to be. Thank you. That's how some of you are holding your own hand through this, by learning to comfort yourself, learning to have more positive, kind, compassionate words for yourself versus anxiety inducing narratives, fear based narratives. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so air signs, your fear seems to be manifesting in the mind. Okay. Yeah, I just keep getting like a negative, pessimistic, maybe even making things scarier than they need to be as far as whatever this is you're trying to prepare yourself for, transition for. Deer is literally the opposite of that. Deer is like a hug. Deer is someone holding your hand, telling you it's going to be okay. But this is something you need to learn to do for yourself. And again, you may have inspired help from somebody, but that's your key to dealing with your fear. Okay. Tell me about Peacock. Tell me about Peacock. Oh man, the fear narrative here. Okay. So I can never pronounce this guy's name, all right? But he brings your fears to life if you let him, basically. If you let him. So like the key point being, yeah, fear can take on a life of its own and make a lot of things manifest in your perception, whether they're happening or not. But if you recognize, oh, this is just fear, right? And you meet that with the deer energy and you unmask your fear for what it is, hunting down your fears, big theme lately, then you get rid of him and it's not going to be a problem. And you get to bring the beauty into your life in whatever way you're bringing this beauty into your, like, yeah, they're saying it's about beauty. So I don't know if you're like trying to get to like a nicer environment, or maybe like getting into a more like artsy skill, or maybe just literally trying to have more pleasurable things in your home, in your life, with people around you, that sort of deal. But either way, the fear is only going to be a problem if you let it. So yeah, some of you, it might even be like self-fulfilling prophecy kind of a deal. I am feeling that. That does happen, unfortunately. But let's move into deer and camel. Yeah, I'm starting to feel like a childlike energy with deer and camel. Curiosity, excitement, exploration, experimenting, very Gemini. Oh man, the shadow cards are just coming out a lot for you guys. We have the feline and Faf the footer. I keep getting this as an extension of your fear with this guy, with Fee the lion. I'm hearing not enough is what I'm hearing. Not enough, not enough, not enough. Some of you may have strong Virgo in your chart. I'm feeling a little bit of like a perfection, is that how you say it? Yeah, that's how you say it. Kind of a vibe. Like almost like feeling no matter how much preparation or how much you think something through, you're gonna miss something or something's gonna catch you off guard. I don't think that's true. I think that's your fear. Faf the footer is a card of grounding. Yeah, reconnect to the truth. Thank you. Yeah, you don't let fear dominate you. Okay, air signs, just don't. It's clearly going to throw you off. It's going to make you way more stressed out than you need to be. It's also going to be making things like in your mind real that are not real. Get reconnected to yourself, get reconnected to your heart, for definitely your heart with this deer out here, and get out of the head. Okay, nothing wrong with researching, planning, organizing, trying to logic something out, trying to get a strategy. Nothing wrong with that, but the fear is there. The feline is a card that comes out to say like, hey, you haven't taken care of your shit. That's why he comes out. You haven't taken care of your shit. But I feel like this is a manifestation of your fear. I really feel that way. I literally heard Repo Man. I hope none of you are experiencing anything with the repo guy, but maybe some of you guys are worried about that. Again, just come back to what's actually happening in the present. What is factually happening in the present? What are you actually feeling? What is in front of your face? Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, make it real. Like, come back to reality by making your reality very real and tangible to you. That is part of connecting to truth, and that's also part of grounding as well. Because I just feel like your fears are getting the best of you. Okay. All right, let's pull some tarot. Tell me about mouse and fairy guide for air signs. Oh, it's hard to pick up these cards. Ah, come back. With mouse and fairy guide, we have 10 of cups. Oh, 10 of cups feels like what it is that you're desiring. And that can be very beautiful, right? Like 10 of cups is having not just a happy social experience or like happy family experience. It's waking up and feeling like life is really good. And going to work and life is really good. Hanging out with friends and family, life is really good. Working in the garden, life is really good. Eating your dinner, life is really good. Going to bed, life is really good. That's the 10 of cups. That's the 10 of cups. And you want that. You want that. It's interesting because I kept feeling so much about money and the material plane. I think air signs, something tells me you're missing the point. We're on air. Something tells me you're missing the point. I think that's also why there's so much emphasis on dear, come back to the heart, get out of the head. Because if that's what you want, that's not a materially based thing. That is literally an internal experience of joy and being happy with your life and being happy with yourself and just being at peace with things. That's what the 10 of cups is. Like, the material plane, can that help things? Sure. But it's literally an internal experience. It doesn't have much to do with the physical at all. So some of you guys need to be aware of that you may be missing the point. Okay. But you want the 10 of cups. You want to wake up, go to sleep, be happy. Peacock and the Fae of Fear. That's what I'm gonna call him. He's the Fae of Fear. Okay. Okay, so earlier I did say I don't think you're trying to play it cool for other people, but you might be, actually. Some of you might be. Because suddenly I just felt this like threat of like cracking under the pressure, or threat of like the truth coming out. It's very interesting. That's not going to be for most of you, but it's something that just felt. Ooh, Ace of Cups. That is how you get rid of this guy. You just look at your fear and you meet it with love. Not to sound cheesy, but that's how you do. That's how you do it. Ace of Cups to me represents the heart and access to the soul, window to the soul, new opportunities and having a different emotional experience. That's how I see the Ace of Cups. And that's what I feel like you're being encouraged to do, is like, just come back to what matters here. Yeah, you're missing the point. You're missing the point. Look at that. Look at that. That's crazy. Some of you, this could be about a move with the 10 of Cups going to the Ace, like a new cycle, or like closing one and opening one. And I think that would stand to reason. Some of you could be going through this transition with family or with relationships specifically. They said, but they're missing the point. They're missing the point. Yeah. If you continue letting your fear dominate you and missing the point, for those where that applies, it's not for everybody. I do think, how do I want to say this? You're just going to keep getting, oh my God, you're just going to keep getting confronted with your own fear, okay? However that's going to manifest, until you see the Ace of Cups, until you see your own heart, until you see what matters. All right, let's look at the feline and Faf the Footer with deer and camel. Oh, that was fast. Oh, yeah, healing. Nice. Okay. Four Swords and Temperance. Both of these cards indicate recovery, indicate a little bit of space, a little bit of reflection going on here, but I'm really getting the word healing. I'm really getting the word healing. Again, getting out of the mind. The Four of Swords is a great card for that, because while it is like reflection, right, it's basically examining, the Three of Swords to get to the truth, the clarity of the Ace of Swords. It is also one where you can see things from a higher perspective, like between the illusions and the truth. Hold on. Goodness. All right. And in doing so, you get out of your head. Temperance, I think, is also indicating just confirmation that you do have an opportunity here to really overcome this. And so isn't going to be a problem plaguing you anymore. Anything else? Four of Swords is indicative of you reconnecting to self and your own truth. Page of Swords. Page of Swords is not bad. Page of Swords is a new perspective. It's also a card of research and analytical. Being analytical, excuse me. Something going on with the throat for you, air signs, definitely. The Page of Swords, I feel like, is coming out here as you holding your sword. So I want to ask you, air signs, have you mastered your sword? The page is indicating maybe there's some learning and evolution to happen there. Maybe this is the beginning of you mastering your sword. They said yes, yes, yes. This is the beginning of you mastering your sword, mastering your mind, mastering the ability to discern fear, illusion, ego, truth, intuition, all the things, right? Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Don't jump to conclusions is what I just heard too. There's been some jumping to conclusions, but that's been fear driven. Very interesting. I want to get one more for you, actually. The deer keeps looking at me. Why is the deer really capturing my attention here for air? Why does the deer keep jumping out like that? Five of Pentacles and the Two of Pentacles. There's a Three of Pentacles energy here. Some of you have felt kind of lonely. I got to be honest. What's missing here, like I said, the Three of Pentacles is the energy between the Two and the Five. Three of Pentacles is planning, networking, working with other people, collaborating. But Five of Pentacles is kind of being on the outs and feeling lonely, feeling kind of down and out. Some of you could be having some financial issues, and Two of Pentacles is trying to find your balance and make decisions about it. This is where you need to have compassion for yourself, okay? Yeah, I'm hearing judgmental. And that's part of the mastering of your mind too. I feel like there is a judgmental, negative self-talk that's happening in the mental space here, and it's also playing off of these feelings of the Five of Pentacles and the Two of Pentacles. And that's why the deer is so important. The deer is a compassionate voice, and it is your own. You just have to learn how to use it. Okay? All right, so we went to another element that was not going where I thought it was going to go. All right, who's next? Fire, earth, or water? Fire. Okay. Let's do some fire. Doing the timestamp, just saying. Saying it right now. Just so you guys know, I didn't forget. I got it. All right. All right, fire signs. We're going to start the Power of Elements Oracle. Fire, you guys just feel very in your element right now. I want to say you're ablaze. Is what I want to say. You're ready. You're eager and you're ready. It feels good. It feels good. I'm liking where fire signs are at. So for Aries, Leo, Sag. For Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Any messages or insights for Aries, Leo? I'm hearing you found the niche. You found the niche? You found the niche. There's another word that wants to be said there. Some of you, it's like finding your thing. That's just how it wants to be said. Finding your thing, the thing that makes you light up. Some of you have found that or are finding that now, but there's something else happening with that. Like people are experiencing that differently. Some of you, it's you found the key. Interesting. You found the key. Some of you feel like you're experiencing a green light moment with those who feel like you found the key. So some of you are feeling like you found the niche, like the unique thing that you've been trying to figure out or look for. Others of you feel like you found the key or you're getting a green light for something. It all feels really good. It all feels really good. Any messages or insights for fire signs? Aries, Leo, Sag. It's got a weird, I just was shown a really weird scene. Why am I being shown that? Some of you might be really engaging in a lot of fantasy, not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. Fantasy in and of itself is not bad. Fantasy can be very fun. Fantasy can be a nice escape sometimes, a nice indulgence. Yeah, some of you are just indulging in fantasy, daydreaming, storytelling. Okay, storytelling. Some of you might be getting into your inner writer here. Excuse me. Okay, that's for some of you. Any messages or insights from my fire signs? Aries, Leo, Sag. Okay, you got 2. Interesting. Not what I would have expected. Have faith for your own healing and be patient. Not the strength of fire signs, I must say. Be patient. Take time to connect to your inner compass. So I feel like you are enjoying. I do. I feel like you have a lot of like really good feelings and vibes going on right now. And it's a fun place to be. Do I think some of you are escaping something? Maybe. Just maybe. You may be avoiding some feelings. Nothing wrong with that. That's very human. As long as you deal with them at some point. And we've talked about this before, right? There's a difference between distraction and avoidance. Like those are 2 very different things. Distraction sometimes is very helpful to dealing with certain difficult things, and just don't avoid, right? But you're enjoying. I do feel that. So why? Oh, for the green. Okay. With this, you found your niche, or you are having a green light moment. Before you leap, just take a moment. Okay? Before you run with it, before you run with the green light moment, or before you run with, I found it, I found the thing. Take a moment. Just take a moment. Take a breath before you, like, yeah, it's like just saying, like, just don't leap just yet. Yes, you found it, or yes, you've had this new insight come through. Maybe just enjoy the moment for a second. I feel like even if you were to like run with it, for those where that applies, excuse me, I think you might hit a wall either way. You might get halted, like dead stop. Yeah, dead stop. Either way. Wonder why that is. Well, we'll find out. All right, let's pull from the animals. For my fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sag. Sometimes when we're excited, sometimes we can lose ourselves a little bit. I was literally just talking to a couple friends about this yesterday. Wow, yesterday. When we can get excited because something feels so good or so right, sometimes we just kind of just, right? And then we don't actually take stock of what's happening. There's a need to take a moment before you leap here. Anything for my fire signs? Aries, Leo, Sag. Oh. Panther. Again, not what I expected. So there is something happening here, fire signs. There is a reason to take a moment before you leap, okay? Panther is a card of catharsis. Panther is also just a really strong, like feminine sort of medicine. We do love a good panther energy. Why is the panther out here? I feel I feel like you're gonna get stopped in your tracks. I do. And something about getting halted or stopping or pausing. Why am I joking? I've only done air. Oh. Ooh. I do feel like you're gonna get halted in your tracks, like a dead stop if you try to leap on this green light, or you let the excitement just like take you away. Somebody could have strong Pisces in your chart, especially if you're in Aries, but there's something about it where like this needs to happen first. This needs to happen first. That needs to happen first. And it does feel like a catharsis. Some of you, it's a conversation. Actually, that's pretty clear. Yeah, some of you, it's a conversation. You could be angry at somebody, like harboring. I'm hearing the word harboring. You could be harboring some emotions towards someone, and that needs to be dealt with. Stingray, emotional and spiritual strength. That's my King of Cups card. Sorry, guys, hold on. I don't have anything with that. Oh, I think it's my allergies. I went out earlier and it was super windy. And I kept thinking, hope this isn't blowing allergens up my nose. But anyway. Oh, excuse me. Remember how we were saying before about preparation? This is part of your preparation. Yes, you could be getting some insights, some breakthroughs, feeling like, oh my God, that's it. I'm ready. I'm gonna go. It's time. It's my time. I'm doing it. This needs to happen first. That needs to happen first. I keep wanting to say it's communication. It doesn't have to be, but it's like, it's definitely something about acknowledging some sort of truth. And I want to say like stuffed down words and just like, just things that were like left unspoken and you just stifled words is what I want to say. But Stingray coming out here with emotional and spiritual strength, I feel like this is what you're moving into after you go through the Panther energy. Like this is you in full prepped mode, so to speak. And look, your chakra system's all lit up too. Some of you could be dealing with a Stingray in this exchange as well, like not like an actual Stingray, but a person who has Stingray energy. Again, very King of Cups. Okay. Yeah, and then we got the new with Earthworm. I don't feel a discomfort with this. Sometimes it is being like really uncomfortable because it's just you're in a whole new foreign sort of situation or experience, but it's a 0 point. It's just something new is starting here, and we already knew that. You feel very comfortable with that. You do. I think you're excited about that. But before you can leap into whatever this is for you, you got to move through the Panther. You got to move through the Panther. And I feel like something is going to help to trigger it to come up. Some of you being stopped in your tracks is what's going to trigger it to come up. But I just feel like it's a lot of like stuffed down words and anger is what I'm gathering from that. It's interesting. And something about acknowledging that or even releasing that moves you into this whole new experience of confidence and like self-esteem with yourself. And yeah, just feel like you're just going to feel ready. I mean, even look at the colors, right? Look at all the rainbow going on in there. Yeah. Okay. Tell me about Panther. Whew. Tell me about Panther for fire signs. Oh my God, we're almost at 2 hours. Jesus. Sorry, I'm just like, I did not realize how long I've been on here. Shit, this is gonna be a long video. Sorry, guys. That was not my intention. Anyway, look what came out. Honesty. I'm not surprised. Are you? Not surprised at all. Honesty is how it sounds. It's being honest with yourself or with other people, which is exactly what I was getting for you. I don't think anyone minds. Yeah. I also like to keep myself within 2 hours just so I also just feel good too. But also, I don't know, maybe some people mind. Maybe they don't. I don't know. But anyway, just commenting. Actually, I want to get one more with the honesty card. Can I get one more with honesty? Interesting. Honesty with the sage. I am hearing wisdom. Wisdom. This release. Remember what I was saying earlier too. It's like the way that we experience justice or things being put in order from this full moon and even from this week might not be how you think. It might actually be from knowledge gained or insights or information. And I feel like for you, it's actually wisdom. It's the wisdom of how to deal with anger. It's the wisdom of how to deal with communication and using your words, and maybe even what like made you angry in the first place, or what made you feel like you had to shove these feelings or words down in the first place. That's what I feel. It's the wisdom of being honest with yourself about these feelings. And something about that puts you in this place of emotional strength. Spiritual strength. I don't know if I said emotional or spiritual, but they said spiritual strength. A maturity. Thank you. A spiritual maturity. A spiritual, being more mature and responsible and accountable to your own spirit and your own emotions. Okay. Let's look at Stingray. Yeah, I feel like this is your justice. I feel like the sage is literally your, like you becoming the sage. But that is your justice. Tell me about Stingray. Ooh. Oh yeah. Lady of the Harvest. I love this card. Kind of perfect too, just considering it's fall. But she is very Empress-like, and also very much how it sounds. She brings abundance. She brings fertility. She brings rewards, right? Just as we've been kind of saying here. This is your gift. This is the reward. This is the gift. This is, yeah, this is how things are being put in order. This is your justice for wrongdoings. It's you becoming a sage. It's you becoming wizened. It's you having more maturity and accountability with your own emotions and your own words and your own soul. Being accountable to that. Very nice. All right, Earthworm. Tell me about Earthworm for fire signs. Oh, interesting. Also, before getting to Earthworm, before leaping, so to speak, experiencing this like abundance of confidence, abundance of like knowing yourself. You can even say self-love. It's beyond that. It's beyond that. It's not just about that, but it's an abundant feeling of self. It is. It's a very like strong, I feel good about who I am, how I handle things, and where I'm going. That is what you've needed. And it feels like that abundance of that is going to help you a lot in the Earthworm. Tell me more about Earthworm. Oh, a lot of feminine energy coming out from my fire signs. We have the journeyman, not surprised. He's literally like the fool. He goes on journeys and, you know, is off to the races, so to speak, with the Earthworm. So not surprised he's out here. But then we have the Bright Mother, and she is very similar to Lady of the Harvest. The Bright Mother is more Cancerian. Well, I would say Lady of the Harvest is more like just straight up Venusian, but way more in the earthly element. But the Bright Mother can bring nurturing. Excuse me, nurturing, but you're nurturing yourself. You're nurturing yourself. You know how to parent yourself. You know how to keep yourself accountable. I feel like she's literally just here to say, you know how to keep yourself in this like abundant feeling of self. That sounds weird. It's just how it wants to be said. Yeah, nice. All right. Let's get to the tarot. Lots of interesting energies to look forward to, fire signs. Maybe we'll get more of a glimpse of certain conversations might be happening with the Panther. What about Panther, honesty, and the Sage? Again, even if like this, sorry, words. I had so many thoughts at once. Yes, some of you, this is a conversation you're having, but there's also a good amount of you where this is just you being honest with yourself and having this release, okay? Yeah, 5 of Cups. What's behind anger is always grief. I've said that for years. What's behind anger is always grief. And there it is. So whatever you shoved down because of you just couldn't say it or you couldn't deal with it or you were angry, it's really because you were hurt. Okay? Ace of Cups. Man. Some of you, this is a little bit of a heart opening for those where that applies. That's not for everybody, but I'm feeling that there. I also feel like your emotional body is getting a jolt. That was a weird feeling. Like, you know, the defibrillators, like, I feel like your emotional body is getting a jolt here, moving from the 5 to the ace, because there's a 4 of Cups energy there. And a lot of this is about like what's been shoved down, what's been shoved. 4 of Cups can be apathy sometimes. It can be a feeling of like emotional numbness. It could also be meditation and reflection, obviously, too. But with your back turned to the Ace of Cups, it's like you've had your back turned to your heart space. And maybe not fully. I mean, maybe you have been in your heart, but it hasn't been fully balanced or open, is what I want to say. That 4 of Cups. Yeah, I feel like you're. Oh, got disconnected. I feel like this Panther honesty catharsis is jolting you out of the 4 of Cups and kind of bringing your emotional body like into a fully awakened state. I know how that sounds. It's just how it's like being felt here, because you can't ignore what you've been shoving down anymore. It needs to come out. It needs to come out so you can be filled with this feeling of, one, spiritual and emotional maturity, but this feeling of abundance of self, of your own energy and your own capability, having your heart fully on, fully balanced, full, having your heart full. Yeah, it does. It's weird. It's a jolt. Can I get one more for the Panther, please? For fire signs? Oh, that was weird. Some of you, this might be between you and like a family member. So Page of Pentacles came out. Hold on, I need to talk about this thing that just came in. I just kind of similar to air, it was like a judgmental voice, a judgmental or critical voice. That might, something about that, like definitely feels like for people who experience that in childhood probably, or just like within a relationship, like maybe someone's judgmental and critical, and so you just like chose not to deal, just chose not to say shit, because like why bother, right? When someone's like that, it's sometimes like I could see like how that could happen, like why bother? They're just gonna say this, they're just gonna do this, or they're not gonna hear me, or they're not, you know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm getting. Oh, excuse me. But that caused you to shove a lot of things down that need to come out. Interesting. But Page of Pentacles coming out here next to the Ace of Cups. Interesting that the pages have been coming out. So for those who are curious, air signs also had a Page of Swords energy that I think was very important. And for you, it's a Page of Pentacles. That's trust, that's consistency, that's being focused on stability and practicality. I feel like loyalty and friendship is part of this. Loyalty. Loyalty? Loyalty? I'm double checking that. This is for some, yeah, okay. For some, what matters to you? What matters to you is also coming through with this like jolt to your emotional body and this gift of spiritual maturity, emotional maturity, allyship, loyalty, and stability. That matters to you. That's important to you. Some of you may feel like that's what you expect, or even not demand. That feels so it's like not the right word. That's what you need. I'll just say it that way. That's what you need when it comes to dealing with certain relationships, or like, yeah, because this is definitely about how you relate. Yeah. That's important to you. That matters to you. All right, moving on to Stingray and Lady of the Harvest. Where are we? Okay. Come here. All right. Yeah, let's move into this abundant feeling. Let's move back. Let's move into that. With Stingray and Lady of the Harvest. Am I taking these? No. Okay. I'm hearing the lion's share. I don't know what that's about. No idea what that's about. Just had to say it. Okay. Stingray and Lady of the Harvest. Ooh. Seven of Wands. Sometimes Seven of Wands can be a fighting energy, but it's also bravery. It's courage. It's also standing up for yourself. I feel like it's actually you having the ability to stand up for yourself. Say what needs to be said, not ignoring your feelings. Like, yeah, this is you learning how to look out for yourself. Can I get more, please? I feel like you're also protecting your good feels. Your good feels. You're protecting that feeling of abundance within yourself. Because abundance, I know a lot of people just equate to material abundance, but abundance is just like a plethora. That's all it means. It's to feel really rich in something. Like you could be abundant in love. You could be abundant in health. I feel like this is you learning to be abundant in self-esteem, to be honest with you. True self-esteem is what I just heard. Noted. True self-esteem. Tell me more about esteem. Ooh. Oh, is this the other person? We have King of Pentacles. Is that you, or is that someone you are trying to keep out of your space? I feel like that's somebody you're trying to keep out of your space. The King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles is usually somebody who has a lot of resources, whether it's a lot of time, money, or energy. It's usually time or money. Yeah, I keep feeling like this is another person. This is another person. They could actually be spiritually inclined, I'll say, spiritually open-minded, even if they're not like practicing anything spiritual. They could just be open-minded in that way. It's just something I'm feeling from this person. Yeah, I feel like this is somebody you're keeping out, that you're learning you need to, thank you, you're learning you need to keep out. You're learning you need to keep out. Whoever that is for you. One more. Some of you are standing up to this King of Pentacles, like in that conversation that I was feeling before. Ooh, Page of Cups. Page of Cups is emotional honesty. It's also my card of innocence. I feel like it's just about emotional honesty. I feel like that's what this is about. Because you can keep someone out and you can speak your truth and like not be super aggro about it, not be super dominating about it. Just being very honest, right? And I feel like that's what you're doing here with the Page of Cups. You're just being very honest. Yeah. And if this is somebody you don't know, it's just like an archetype of this kind of person. The King of Pentacles, especially when they're in their shadow, greedy. Okay. When the King of Pentacles is like this, wait, I don't read reversals anymore. When they're in their shadow, they're very controlling. They're very dominating, and they can be very judgmental and critical, actually. And they could be a lot more worried about money in the material plane or even image when you're dealing with a shadowy King of Pentacles, just to give you a little bit more clarity on who this could be for you, or even the kind of people this represents for you. Yeah. Yeah, you're just holding your boundaries there. Like it. All right. Earthworm, Journeyman, and the Bright Mother for fire signs. So very similar themes of learning to nurture the self. Ooh, yeah. Page of Wands. That exciting. Excitement, enthusiastic, playful. It's also the card of good news, but I feel like this is you just like, okay, I can take my green light moment now. I can move ahead. I can move forward now. I can go do my thing now. I've got the clear, right, to do it. It's fun. It's a fun vibe. Anything else? I am here. Sorry, I got pulled back to this again. Entitled. So maybe this is somebody who's just entitled. So coming back to the Page of Wands. Whoa, 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 whoa. There's a lot here. We have Page of Wands, Ace of Wands. He is holding the Ace of Wands, which Ace of Wands is just like your level of excitement and vitality, right? Six of Cups. Six of Pentacles. And then the Tower and the Star. Interesting. Six of Cups is a past card. Patterns, nostalgia, memories. But with the Six of Cups and the Six of Pentacles, let's not even talk about the Tower yet. We'll come back. Let's talk about this first. This feels like as you are ready for the new and like that earthworm energy and just like, all right, I'm gonna go do me. I got the green light, I'm gonna go. The Six of Cups and Six of Pentacles, you might be wanting to bring some people with you or a certain person with you. Some of you, there is a little bit of reclaiming some of your how do I want to say, pastimes. That's like, oh, I never use that word, but I guess that's what it is. Like things that you used to do for fun that you don't do anymore, and like bringing them into the present and into the future to enjoy. Just be wary though, because I feel like if you try to extend to people from your past, this tower might really show you why you should not do that. Okay, just being honest, because I feel like it's going to build to this moment one of clarity, but in that clarity you're probably going to be very understanding of what you can take with you and what you can't, who you can take with you and who you can't. So just be mindful of that. Either way, this is leading into a really beautiful space and a beautiful direction. Okay, very nice. All right, moving on. Go have your fun, fire signs. Just clearing the board. Okay. Who we have left? Oh, Earth and Water. Take my glasses off for a minute. Ah. Sometimes my glasses make my face like super itchy. Plus my hairs are making me itchy too. All right. Oh, Water, you're going last. When Water goes last, I get a little nervous for you guys. Usually means something big is going down. But full moon Pisces, I guess that makes sense. All right. Earth. No! Just being honest. Just being honest. Okay. All right, sorry. I'm here. I'm in it. Okay, Earth signs. Capricorn, Taurus. Oh no, are you guys quiet? Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Earth signs feel very quiet. Why do you feel so quiet? Feel like you're keeping things on the down low, Earth signs. Feels very hush hush. You could be in deep hermit mode. Some of you are in deep hermit mode. Some of you are deep in planning, for sure. Yeah, I feel like you're like hush hush. Hush hush. I just keep hearing hush hush. Starting with the Power of Elements Oracle. Inspiration, breathe your inspiration into the world. So like I was getting, like some of you I think are deep in your process of creativity or planning, organizing. All the Virgo energy is totally going to help to do that for my earth signs. So that is here, but then the hush hush. We have own it. Be aware of how you express your fear. That F word coming up again. Be aware of how you express your fear. This card is pretty on the nose, I think, for what the energy is happening for the collective right now, is where fear is concerned. This card speaks specifically to like the ideas and notions and illusions and projections and blaming and behavior that we engage in when we're coming from a fearful, insecure place. Any of you who are being creative right now or like doing your planning thing, that feels really good. Okay. Especially with inspiration being here. That feels really good. But this card, okay. Oh Lord, the overlap with air. Well, air wasn't a lot of earth, so there may be something going on there. Plus Mercury's in Virgo, so, you know. But yeah, that own it card. What I'm feeling, and we're going to get deeper into this, but earth signs, I feel like you have some ideas. I got to be honest, they sound like they feel like judgments. Judgments, ideas that are coming from an insecure place. Maybe they're valid. Maybe they are. I don't know your life. Maybe they're valid, but we'll see. Let's see. Let's get some animals out here. I gotta be honest, I'm feeling a little bit of like a paranoid kind of vibe. Some of you could be very tempted into competition, or you could be feeling competitive. That could be probably why you're like hush hush about something. It's a lack of trust. It's a lack of trust. That's what it's coming down to. Oh yeah, Clyde. He's been hanging out. It's a lack of trust. So you're afraid to trust. Some of you could be afraid to, thank you. It's also, okay, that makes sense. Some of you, this is a control issue thing, but that is directly rooted into trust. Afraid of not having control. Afraid of what others might do or say. Afraid of what may happen if you don't plan for it. It's also what I'm getting for some of you. It all comes down to fear and trust, okay? Which also will relate to control. When the Spars of the Octopus comes out. Any messages or insights? Thank you. Unicorn, that feels yummy. We like that. Unicorn is the third eye, right? The ajna. Believing the impossible is possible. I feel like this is going perfectly with that inspiration card. I feel like you're getting a lot of cool, inspiration. Inspired ideas, nudges, vibes, and you're acting on it, right? And I feel like it's coming through by creativity and planning, or getting something ready, getting something in order, and you're in it, and that feels really good. That feels really, really good. Anything else from my earth signs? Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Hush, hush. Don't look over here. Oyster. Yeah, you are keeping something on lock. Sometimes it's good too. Sometimes it is good too. Just to like keep something contained before it gets its legs, so to speak, right? Yeah, it's protective. It's a protective energy that the oyster comes with. Just be careful not to be too guarded here, or to like be doing it again from a place of fear. Beautiful. Yeah, again, you're very inspired right now. Firefly. Firefly is literally an inspired card. Hold on, my ear is itchy. It's a burst of inspiration. It's a burst of vitality. It's like, it literally says, act on this energy now, because it's temporary, right? So yeah, again, all of that feels good. Whatever you're creating, whatever you feel inspired to do right now, whatever you could be planning for, putting together, that all feels really amazing. I just want to say, be aware if there are any fears, insecurities, scarcity, control stuff coming up or driving any of this. Just be mindful of that, because I keep feeling like you might be a little too closed off and mistrusting. I keep getting a trust issue. All right, let's move into the Fae. Tell me about Unicorn for my earth signs. Yeah, She of the Kruak. Very nice. This is like such intense intuitive energy. She of the Kruak is divine feminine principle, so receptivity, right? Which is what you're doing as the unicorn too, because you're receiving. You're receiving the inspiration, you're receiving the intuitive hits, you're receiving just the pull to like create or do or plan, and you're in it, and it feels really good. And that's felt good from the beginning. I am getting a little bit of the High Priestess card. They're just showing it to me. So some of you, this is purely intuitive flow and information. All of that feels great. It's just receptivity. That's what this is confirming here. Tell me about Oyster. Tell me about Oyster. We have the Oakman, which is not a bad card. The Oakman he's actually kind of interesting. Like, it even describes in the book that the Oakman, as a Fae, when it comes to time and space, he can see so much through time and has experienced so much of time. Like, think of trees, right? But hasn't budged in space, hasn't budged in physical space. It's this feeling of like watching life pass you by. Some of you could be afraid of FOMO. Some of you may feel like you've already gone through missing out on a lot. It's giving me sad. It's giving me sad. I just gotta be honest. It's giving me sad vibes. But that's just the nature of the Oakman. I keep wanting to say, just make sure you are not guarding yourself too much, because I feel like you could be missing out on some things that maybe could really add to your experience. And again, that's a trust thing, right? Like, this has the vibe of feeling like someone keeps themselves in a certain position in a certain way and just kind of watches things play out and like doesn't, you know what I mean? It's like there's a disconnect between the external and the internal here, which, yes, it's important to have your internal experience really anchored in and be very aware of that, be very tuned into that, but we are also experiencing the external as well, right? I'm gonna pull another one on that. Can I get one more for the oyster? Are you not opening up? Or yeah, I don't need to ask that question. I think the answer is very clear. You're not opening up out of fear. Ooh. Oh, wait a minute. How did you come out in reverse? Okay, that's weird. All my cards are upright. Dark Lady came out in reverse. I feel like it's just confirming all of that. So the Dark Lady, she is a little scorpionic. I can't totally show her because of all the, immunity or whatever. I'm just going to mumble that. You guys know what I mean. Actually, I guess I could just cover it. It's so stupid. It's just art. But anyway, the Dark Lady, she can be kind of scorpionic, but she also comes out when initiations are afoot. She deals in the unseen, the non-physical. She literally represents the moment, the exact moment between death and life, right? So she is in the shadows, but she is powerful, and she does come with initiations here. And I feel like you've just been resisting coming out of the oyster space, which means you've been resisting dealing with trust issues. Just calling a spade a spade. You've been resisting dealing with your fear. Your fear of putting trust maybe in other people, maybe trust in the process, maybe even trust in spirit to an extent. I think not so much compared to the other ones that were mentioned. But it definitely has this feeling of like, this is my bubble, my shell, mine, and I will do my things and I will whatever, but like not allowing for maybe that shell to open or expand, to move a little bit, even within space, within physical space. Yeah. It's a very isolated feeling. All right, let's look at inspiration with Firefly. For my earth signs. Ooh, honesty card came out again. We have Fawn with honesty. So again, some of you are being very creative, and you could be creative in something where you have to use your voice or your words, like think Mercury with honesty here. Fawn is also a card of your own natural magic, like finding your essence, finding what it is that you're good at, what you like to do, what you enjoy doing. This just feels like part of whatever it is that you are inspired to do or what you're creating or putting together. Is coming by way of that, just like literally your own innate magic, which is beautiful. Again, everything seems great. It's like the only thing that's off here is that. It's the only thing. No man is an island, right? No man is an island. All right. Let's pull up the tarot. Unicorn and She of the Cruac for my earth signs. Wow. Wow. Okay. Just taken aback. Emperor and the Star. I'm taken aback because She of the Cruac is basically like divine feminine principle. Well, Emperor is divine masculine principle. Very interesting. I feel like more so this is about your own internal union of self, and that's why you're having such flow with whatever it is you're inspired to do, to create, etc., within your own bubble, and it feels really good. If some of you, it almost feels like a wish fulfillment. Could this also be that there is somebody trying to come into reality? Yes, absolutely, especially with this whole receptivity of masculine energy. But this might slow that down, being that closed off. Okay, interesting. I want to get one more on that. Can I get one more? Oh, look, 2 of Cups at the bottom. Can I get one more here with Emperor and the Star? Hermit. Which I was kind of feeling with you, that you're in hush-hush mode. You're in hermity, closed off kind of space in your own internal world. So I'm not surprised that's there. I feel like if anything, that's actually just representing the state that you're in. You're in hermit mode. And the hermit always finds the star, follows the star, and the Emperor just happens to be part of the star that you are receiving, that you are intuiting. So again, I think a lot of you, this is about union of self, but definitely some of you, this could be somebody coming in here, and you could be knowing that, you could be aware of that, you could just have a feeling. Let's go ahead and look at Oyster with the Dark Lady and the Oakman. Something about like the watching thing. I can't get off of the watching thing. All right. I'm hearing I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. I'm feeling that actually with the Emperor. So if this is more of a union of self, it feels like you're finding this nice like middle ground of understanding how to work from that feminine place of being receptive to your own truth and your own inspiration, but then utilizing your own masculine to actually do something with it, right? Practically. So that's a nice balance to be finding. Anyway, Oyster. Ah! So tired of the cards exploding on me. Always exploding these days. Okay. Oakman and the Dark Lady with Oyster. Earth signs are like, no! Ace of Swords. The Mastery of the Sword coming through again, but Ace of Swords is clarity. It's truth coming through. Sometimes it comes through as a severing force, a creative forging force, but it's truth. It's undeniable truth. And I feel like it's actually highlighting the Dark Lady that it's time. It's time to do something about this shell that you have. It's time to do something about these walls that you have, these trust issues that you may have. Wow. Wow. The Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles, I feel like, is coinciding with the Emperor energy here, and just like what you're feeling the need to do, the need to create or even put together. It's clarity on your path. It's clarity on your legacy and where you could go, where you could take things. Thank you. And what it's going to require of you. And what it's going to require of you is working on this trust stuff. Remember what I said, no man is an island. The Ten of Pentacles is no exception. While that represents legacy, it also includes other people, not just yourself. It affects other people, not just yourself. Can I get one more, please? Yeah, I feel like you know. Like, I feel like you know, and it's very in your face what it's going to require of you to really work with what you're inspired to do. including what you got to work through within yourself. Can I get one more, please? Oh, yeah. Wow. Knight of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune. To initiate, the word initiate is coming through a lot for your signs. Change. Initiate change while you are mastering and wielding your sword of truth, right? Your knowing, acting on your knowing, and initiating the change that's necessary here. Okay? Yeah, and even the fact that honesty came out with Fawn, with the Firefly, with what's coming after this, just makes sense. Because I was getting, it was something about like your words, like utilizing your words in terms of like what your natural magic is, your natural skills and talents are. Yeah, that's part of it. That's part of it. No more hiding. No more hiding. Tell me about Fawn, honesty, and Firefly. So moving on to these guys. Wow. It's a lot of implication here. We have Death and the King of Cups. So yes, finding your innate magic, finding and utilizing your skills, coming to peace also with what that requires of you in getting out of your comfort zone and working on some trust issues. With Death and the King of Cups, this also is going to help you to feel more secure emotionally, okay? King of Cups is pretty unwavering in his emotional body, his or her emotional body. Very stable. Very, very stable. And some of you where this Emperor is coming in as an external person versus you finding union within yourself, I feel like this is why this Emperor is coming in to help you in multiple ways. I feel like helping you with cultivating what you're inspired to do and to help you deal with these trust issues, okay? Death and the King of Cups, if you're experiencing, again, this Emperor as an external energy, King of Cups can be a very healing force to be around, okay? It's somebody who has a lot of compassion. It's somebody who has a lot of empathy and a lot of patience. And they're also very mature. But Death is indicating how much of a transition this is for you as well. Can I get one more? Can I get one more for my earth signs? Jeez. Tower. Tower feels really good, honestly, the couple times it's come out. I forgot who it came out for last time. Was it Fire? Yeah, this also came out for Fire. Sometimes when we get the Tower, we look at it as destruction or calamity or, oh my God, what the hell is happening? Things are falling apart. But sometimes it's also just epiphanies. Sometimes it's also just the unexpected. Sometimes it's just breaking something open. And that's what I feel here. It feels like a very positive thing. Yeah. Yeah. How do I want to say this? It's like a lightning bolt. It's like a lightning bolt of awareness. It's a lightning bolt of truth. It's a lightning bolt of inspiration. It's just like suddenly you can handle it. Suddenly you're just in it. Suddenly things are different. There's something else here though. Emotionally, it feels like you're going to be a lot stronger and a lot more honest. Yeah, thank you. You're going to be a lot more emotionally honest and stronger with yourself and with other people. And any like mistrust, anxiety, fears around trust just are suddenly not going to be an issue anymore. Oh, that's very interesting. All right. Are we ready for water? I was like, I forgot why I stopped doing elements because like when I get in it, it's just like, it's kind of a lot to read. I'm like looking at the time, I'm like, shit, 2.5 hours. All right. A little sip of water after clearing the board, and then we'll be good. Okay, just moving everything around here. See the tower for the third time? Maybe. Maybe. Okay. I just need a couple breaths before I get into it. My crown's yelling at me, like, we've been working a lot today. Like, I know. Especially doing Cancer and Aries earlier, too. Okay. Okay. All right, water signs. I'm worn out. I haven't even been doing anything. It's a lot of energy. It started with a lot of energy. All right, water signs. Are you ready? It's like, I'm so nervous for you. What's going on for my water signs? Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Water signs. You could be getting flooded with a lot of psychic information. Literally just saw like a giant tree. Started seeing whales. And I was like, oh, okay. It's a lot of symbology around just like how we tune in and how connected, right? Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Any messages or insights for Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio for this week? Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Something about like, that's like stormy winds. Some of you could be learning how to read wind. Reading nature. Interesting, yeah. Reading nature, reading the wind. My water signs is coming through. Sensing when change is happening. Some of you are just sensing that. Starting with the Power of Elements Oracle. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Oh, just flew right out of my hands. Expression. Express your truth. I think you're doing that well, actually. Some of you could be learning, but I feel like you're doing that well. I think if you're prompted, yeah, thank you. If you're prompted, you're probably going to unload some truth bombs that I think someone's not expecting. But I don't feel you going out of your way to, I almost wanted to use the word instigate. Interesting. Maybe you might got some drama going on, water signs. You might got some drama, because it was like I suddenly had that feeling of like, you know your truth, even if you're not like you're not sharing it unnecessarily. I feel like, yeah, you're trying to avoid storms. Okay. Any messages or insights for water signs? I want to get one more. Can I get one more for my water signs? One more for my water signs. One more for my water signs. Yeah, water signs. I feel like you're in a state of just like taking in information, sorting information out and just like not being frivolous with your energy. Yeah, make changes. Be all that you can. Wait, be all you can. Wait, do all you can. Sorry. I'm tired. We've been on here for a while. Do all you can to be all you are. Yeah, I feel like you're just very focused on you, water signs. Yeah, you're very focused on you. And I feel like with where you're at, it's like you're trying really hard to manage your energy, is how that wants to be said. You could be trying to like be on top of your physical energy, not just your energetic, like you're not just like your spiritual energy, right? Like literally even your physicality, like that's coming through really strongly. Yeah, I just feel like you're very self-focused, and I feel like you're trying to be like very on top of just being balanced. And again, I keep getting that you are picking up on a lot. And you're just not being frivolous. There's something about instigation and provocation, though. Like if someone comes in to poke the bear, so to speak, you might roar. You might. I feel like you don't want to be disturbed in your process or just in what it is you're focused on. I feel like you just don't want to be disturbed. Interesting. All right, let's get some animals for my water signs. Thought I just saw a light outside. Any messages or insights for my water signs? Actually, I think I'm gonna turn the lights down a little bit. Hold on. Is that as low as it goes? Okay, good. I feel like I was getting blinded. Okay. For water signs. Butterfly. Yeah, you're in a very free state, but again, it feels very focused, like just on yourself. I just can't get away from that feeling. Like everything you're doing right now, like not in a selfish way, it's just, it's needed. It's needed. You're just looking out for yourself. You're looking out for yourself, and butterfly coming out is indicating how good you're feeling about it, to be honest. Anything else for my water signs? Cobra. Cobra to me is my Saturn card. It's a little bit of like, are you like, you know, the pressure of Saturn, like looking down on you, like, are you doing what you need to be doing, etc. Yeah, it is kind of how it feels. It is how it feels. I feel like you're really enjoying the state, and I feel like Cobra is actually coming through by way of other people. Yeah. So much about judgment going on this week. Can I get one more? One more for my water signs. One more for my water signs. You guys got two more. Dragon. Dragon and crow, both very magical energies. Dragon is related to the solar plexus, masculine energy. It's also about seeing through the ego and seeing through the veil and just seeing the truth. Crow is also just the card of magic and the occult and alchemy. It's very magician-like, also as akin to divine messengers. Water signs, again, I think you've been very self-focused. I think you have been getting to a good place in whatever way you've been doing that. Dragon and crow, I can feel like there's a lot, I feel like this is its own story. There's a lot going on here, but we're going to get to that later. I just feel like there's like major psychic implications here, maybe even telepathy, maybe even other people. We'll get back to that, but Cobra keeps catching my attention. Some of you may have some judgmental onlookers is what I want to say. Maybe because you're not giving your energy. That could totally be the case. You may get some instigators, you may get provoked. Deal with that as you will. But I'm also getting discipline. I'm getting that like Saturnian discipline. Just be mindful that you're not getting so carried away that you're also like ignoring certain things that you do need to take care of. Remember, this is also a week where neglected things come home to roost. So people could feel neglected. People could feel neglected and be like, water sign, what up? What's going on? Right? But some of you may also have been potentially a little laxed on some things that maybe you have prioritized recently and they are no longer priorities. I want to say review your priority list. Just review it. Just review it. Take stock of it. You might be dropping the ball somewhere because you're kind of caught up in this butterfly space. I'm looking over at the dragon and the crow. I feel like there's so much going on there. It's weird. With dragon and crow, they almost want me to read it separately after the fact. Like something about this feels, like I said, like its own story away from the butterfly and cobra. Leave it up to the water signs to have like a little bit of a strange reading. All right, I'm just going to do that. We're going to read this after we read butterfly and cobra because that's just what's being called for. Okay. All right, butterfly. Can I get a card for butterfly? Look, pulling from the Fae deck now. Whoa. Yeah. Oh, water signs. Yeah, this has been really good for you. Okay. We have Ilby the Retriever. In this space of being self-focused and getting, it's like you've been getting like lighter and lighter and lighter. Some of you have been going through a huge transition or even transfer, you can even say transformation with yourself. And what's happened is I'm hearing you've reclaimed joy, to be honest. You've reclaimed joy. Some of you have gone through a bit of a soul retrieval. It feels like you just got something special back. And I'm even being drawn to like the orb with the crow and the pearl with Ilby the Retriever. They're saying, don't go there yet. Okay. I'm drawn to it, had to say it, but they're like, don't go there yet. Yeah, this has been good for you. You've reclaimed something for yourself, and it feels really joyful. It feels really light. It just feels good. So I get why you've been doing it. Let's go to Cobra. Apprehensively, let's go to Cobra. All right. Cobra for my water signs. It does, feels like a stare down. It always feels like a stare down with this card. Tell me about Cobra for my water signs. People might try to pull you into competitive bullshit. Just don't even entertain it. Just don't. Everyone's in their own lane. Interesting. We have the Sylph. She's kind of mercurial. She's about quick, fast-moving energy, and sometimes she's about pivots. Something with this Cobra energy, I feel like something is going to happen really fast, play out really fast, and I think you're going to need to react very fast. And again, some of you, it's about something you've been neglecting, or something or someone you have deprioritized, I'll say. It feels a little whiplashy. Yeah. So yeah, it's just gonna happen really fast. Can I get another card for this, please? And I do feel like you're gonna have to react quickly. The loom, the loum. 30 breaking down to a 3. This card also makes me a little sad sometimes. It's actually a positive card mostly. My whole, like, my body's freaking out with this energy right now. But you see her wings are all tattered and, like, torn up. So this is a card of, how do I want to say? She's a fae that helps. She helps, she loves unconditionally, and sometimes to her own detriment. Here. I actually want to say that's like an old version of you, to be honest. That's very water sign. That is a very water sign thing to do. To support and love to its own detriment. That is very, especially like Cancer, Scorpio. Well, even Pisces too. Yeah, it's a very water sign like thing to do. Whatever is coming in really quickly or catching your attention really quickly, and you may have to respond quickly, I keep getting it's something about other people. I do. Like, I just can't get away from it. And it might be because they are still thinking of you as the old version of you when you have clearly been on a big, like, transformation journey over here, reclaiming yourself and moving into a space where you're lighthearted. I mean, it's interesting with the wings analogies too, right? Like, your wings are intact. Your wings are strong, but maybe there was a time where they weren't, metaphorically speaking. Yeah, I think people are playing catch up with you. Can I get one more for Cobra? Am I taking this? Yeah. Gross. That's what I have to say about that. For those who don't know this card, sorry not to be all dramatic, but that's like my least favorite card in this deck. This is basically the narc card, basically. This is the narky card. The Glam Coner is sneaky, shapeshifty, all the things. All the things. Some of you, this could even be a new opportunity or a new person that just like drops in suddenly. And I feel like it's actually just going to be, it's going to feel like a little bit of a mini test of, are you still that person to engage this kind of energy, to deal with that energy? Or have you fully cemented like yourself and who you are, which you clearly have, water signs. So just don't forget that. Yeah, it's just like I knew something was weird. I was like, gross. Have you learned? Have you learned not to do things to your own detriment, right? Especially when it comes to how you give. It's very clear. It's very, very clear here. Yeah. So I think you're gonna be fine. I think you're gonna be fine. I'm not too worried about you. I'm so eager to get into this dragon crow energy, but they're like, not yet. I'm like, yeah, okay. All right, let's get some tarot out here and then we'll get back to dragon and crow. Yeah, no. You may have to use your voice here. You may have to. And that's kind of what I was getting before. Like if you're provoked, like someone pokes the bear, you might roar back. You might. Tell me about butterfly and it'll be the retriever. Am I taking? Oh, I'm taking that one. Okay. Tower. Someone called it. I forgot who it was. Somebody called the tower. Coming in with butterfly, it'll be the retriever. Again, tower here does not feel bad to me. I feel like it's just like, it's an opening. That's what I feel like. That's honestly how it feels. It just feels like a very sudden opening is making itself known while you're in this state. While you're in this state. Almost feels portal-like even. It's also clarity and epiphany of like how much I think some of you have given yourself away, given your power away. You probably learned to do that, right? Comes from somewhere. We're not like, we don't just like come out of the womb like that, right? It's a learned behavior. Yeah, I'm getting just a lot of realizing just how special you are, really, like about yourself. That's honestly mostly what I'm getting. And how much you just need to value yourself and need to value your energy and your time and like your investment and who you deal with, all of those things. Like I'm getting a lot of that. But the tower to me just feels like some sort of opening. Some of you, this could be, again, like a form of an awakening. But the fact that you've been going through this kind of transition already, I'd be shocked if it was an awakening. Let's go ahead and look at that. Oh, look at that. Some of you may have experienced recently and even coming up divine intervention. It's just what wanted to be said. Seven of Cups, well, not too shocking. Seven of Cups can be options. It can be illusions, delusions, fantasy. It's not always bad. But remember I mentioned before, it's like Seven of Cups is probably going to be coming up quite a bit for people. The illusion is standing out to me with the Seven of Cups and options. So again, that energy, I think, is going to present itself by way of a person. I think most of you it's going to be by way of a person. Most of you, someone you already know. And if it's a new person, it might feel a little bit like a test of what you have learned about yourself and all this work you've done to retrieve yourself for yourself. Don't fall for the smoke and mirrors, and understand that just because something is being presented to you where there's an opportunity doesn't mean you should take it. Doesn't mean that it's viable. And I know you know that already. I know you know that already, water signs. So just stay on your P's and Q's, right? Stay in that awareness. Thank you. Some of you in this like retrieving yourself space, you have also realized that you have been, hold on a second, keep dropping cards. I think you also realize how much you've been playing out that pattern in life and even in your mind. Okay, some of you have a fear about this. Some of you have a fear about this. Some of you have a fear of repeating this, experiencing this over and over. It's very typical. It's like, this is a very textbook, like narcissistic codependent stuff, like very textbook. But just remember, you've done the work. The past is in the past, and you don't have to repeat that ever again. It doesn't have to happen again. Anything else for my water signs? Yeah, fear. Don't fall for the smoke and mirrors. You know how to avoid it by now. I feel like this is literally just to give water signs a heads up of, hey, your fears might come up and or an actual threat might come up, but that's also where your discernment needs to come in, right? Because I can feel it, like how much of a fear this has been, that you may actually get presented with something that's a legitimate opportunity or experience, and your fear just might go into hyperdrive. And then it's up to you to discern, is this an actual threat? Is this my fear getting the best of me? So just make sure you're practicing discernment, all right? And keeping yourself honest. Can I get one more? I think this is why the dragon and crow want to be read like separately. Because I keep getting drawn to the pearl that Ilby's holding and then the orb that the crow's holding. Something's going on there. Can I get, thank you? Yeah, water signs, the world. Yeah, this is just a final cementing to be done with this fear. To be done with this fear. So again, however this comes up for you, whether it is an actual threat, you will recognize it, you will trust yourself enough to know it, and you can close this out once and for all. Or if a legitimate opportunity experience presents itself and your fear comes up, it's your opportunity and window to finally be done with this fear and not be plagued by this anymore and just be done once and for all. Very Saturn. The world is also Saturn. All right, are we ready? Ready for Dragon and Crow? I'm very intrigued. I'm very, very intrigued. Let's go with the Fae. With this. I'm hearing retrieve. Yeah, there's something going on with Ilby the Retriever in connection to this crow. Absolutely. Tell me about Dragon and Crow for water signs. Tell me about Dragon and Crow. Singer of Intuition. Not surprising, because I was like, there's something very like spiritual and psychic going on over here. Yeah, Singer of Intuition. Again, not surprised that's coming out. Okay, what is this orb and pearl connection? What is this? What's like, why do I keep associating the two? Have I read this for you guys before? This is starting to feel familiar. Like the pearl is like you are the pearl? Like you are the pearl. You are the pearl. You are the orb. I almost want to say like, no, that sounds so like out there. No, okay. They said you're feeling it. It's like the key to you. Yeah, that is how it's feeling. Like the orb, the pearl, it's the key to you. It's like your personal access code or something. That's so interesting. That's so interesting. Once you close out this fear, I'm not going to say lesson, because it's like you're being done with the fear. You learned the lesson already. You know the lesson very well. That's what I'm getting. It's the fear. Once you close out the fear, something about you is going to change, like majorly. Majorly. Look at the difference of the pearl and the orb. Something about you is going to shift dramatically. And that is going to be seen. That's going to be witnessed. That's going to be seen and that's going to be witnessed. I don't know how to describe this. Yeah, you're getting brighter. Yeah, you're expanding. You're bigger. It's like your own magic, your own light is just going to be amplified. This is vital for you. This is vital for you. This is vital for you to get to this crow energy. I feel like the crow is you. I feel like you are the crow. Some of you could be working with crow or even raven. Definitely, yeah, you've been restored, but this is like next level. Like retrieving the pearl was the first step. The second step is getting it back to its state. Interesting. Yeah. You've gotten yourself back, but now you actually need to like fully restore it back to what it should be. Back to what it should be. Back to an ideal state. Thank you. Back to an ideal state. An ideal state. You are the crow. You are the crow. So why is the dragon here? Why is the dragon here? For my mystics, your gifts are about to like go nuclear. Okay. For my mystics, yeah, your gifts are about to go nuclear. Remember, Singer of Intuition is exactly how it sounds. And even just like the way this card is like drawing me in, it feels like doo, 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 doo. It's like retrieving. Yeah, retrieving. I was going to say receiving, but retrieving. Retrieving. Some of you might feel like you're going through a crowning. Is also wanted to be said. Yeah. But the dragon. The dragon. Something else is going on with the dragon. Can I get one more, please? Let's get another card for dragon and crow. Epona's wild daughter. So she actually has a sister in this deck, Lace the Moon's daughter. So they're very similar, but with Epona's wild daughter, so it's interesting. They're kind of like the polarity of the moon. So they have very similar positions. I'd have to dig the card out, and I don't really want to. They have very similar positions. They both work with the moon energy, but her sister is more about the like illusions and shadow of the moon. She's more about the light, like the truth and the clarity of the moon. Yeah, I just feel like psychically things are going to get very just like clear, like crystal clear, and gifts are going to be amplified. But I keep getting this feeling of being witnessed though. Like with the dragon, I got to be honest, I feel like the dragon's actually someone else. I actually feel like it's someone seeing you is like how that's coming through, or like watching this unfold, maybe even watching your process. Yeah. Epona's wild daughter also encourages play, encourages like playing in these kind of energies and being open and receptive. Can I get one more? I'm gonna get one more for dragon and crow. Whoa. Hold on. Again, cards flying everywhere. I know I saw you. There you are. Now we have Sylvanius, the Mask of Truth. The Mask of Truth. Oh, and look, a giant freaking sword. Mastering your sword. Sylvanius speaks of taking the mask on or off of truth. There's something about this fear that you had, water signs, of these experiences, and you could have gone through some serious trauma, like serious abuse. Like that creates this kind of a fear, right? Being done with that fear, like this was taking up a lot of space, is what I'm gathering. Almost like it was clogging, maybe clogging. This was clouding you. It was really clouding you. And now crystal clear vision is happening. Crystal clear vision happening. There's still some up with the dragon. I can feel it. Can I get one card just for the dragon? What's behind the dragon? There we go. What's behind the dragon? For my water signs, what's behind the dragon? The green woman. Oh, that's fun. She's literally like play. She's like fire, playful energy. She works in the earthly element, like as an element. It's play. I feel like water signs, as you close out this fear and you're done with this fear, I mean, you are going to blossom and just get so much brighter and get restored to a state that you probably haven't experienced in a while. Before these experiences tore up your wings, metaphorically, you were that rainbow orb, right? So you probably haven't felt like that in a long time. And as you get there, I feel just like invitation with the green woman and the dragon, invitation and being witnessed. Like I feel that so strongly. And you're just going to have crystal clear vision. All right. Let's go ahead and pull some tarot cards and then we will wrap this up. A 3-hour video. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah. Oh, this is your justice, water signs. This is your justice. Libra and Leo energy coming through here with strength. This is things being put in the right order for you. And it's literally just about you. like being restored to your ideal state is how they're saying it again. Strength is confidence. I feel like it's confidence here. Sometimes it's also about balancing, like with your shadow and everything like that, which I think you have probably done already. And also by facing this fear, you're definitely doing some of that. Can I get one more? You're a lot stronger than you realize. And I think once you are done with this fear, I think you will realize that. But oh shit, hold on, sorry. But this fear, I think, was keeping you from even understanding your own resilience. Can I get one more? One final card from a water signs. Seven of Swords. I'm not mad at that. Not coming after strength and justice, because again, strength, I was feeling like it was confidence, but strength is also how we manage, right? How we manage, how we find balance. It even is a card of control. I think you're keeping the Seven of Swords at bay, I think is really what you're doing. You're staying on top of not allowing that fear to come back now that you're done with it. You're not allowing for any bullshit to like creep into your reality. It's like you're just on it. You see, so you can't unsee, right? Any kind of sneaky bullshit comes your way, it's just not gonna fly. It's just not gonna pass through. I'm hearing it's not gonna pass through the gates, is what I'm hearing with that. So yeah, I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about or the temptation. Seven of Swords sometimes can be a card where like you're trying to move forward, but you keep looking back. You're not looking back. And don't look back is also what I just heard. And do not look back. And do not look back. I'm gonna say that one last time. And do not look back. Okay? That seems very important. And do not look back. All right. We are complete. That was a lot. But felt necessary. And maybe because this is a crazy week and there's some crazy ass cycles we're in. So I hope that this has been helpful for all of you guys. Please don't forget to like the video and also share the video if you feel so inclined to. Obviously, like don't do it if you don't want to. And all of that good stuff. So thank you guys for hanging out with me, especially if you were here for the whole 3 hours. I'm kind of shocked I was here for 3 hours. I love you guys so much. And thank you for everybody who sent me super chats. I feel like I probably missed some because I was so in it. So I apologize if I missed you. But yeah, I'm going to hop off. Have a great full moon tomorrow. And again, if you want to catch that deep dive, that is available now on Vimeo and Patreon. But yeah, so I'm out. I'm going to go eat dinner or do relaxing something or other. I'm going to come down from this and I will see you guys later. Okay. Take care.